Brigadier Mishak Mkabela, head of ballistics at the South African Police Service, testified at the commission yesterday. He's revealed that guns connected to the murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart have also been linked to more than 20 other cases, including the murders of DJ Sambodi and DJ Fintos. Swart was killed last year in a case of mistaken identity shortly after his company exposed how a firm linked to alleged crime kingpin Katiso Katie Molefe's nephew Lucky Molefe secured a Transnet tender through corrupt means. During his testimony, Mkabela emphasized that it is often the case that specific firearms are linked to numerous criminal investigations.
With taxi violence, the CIT, cash in transit, what they call is in Kabi, you'll find that there's one particular firearm that you see terrorizing a particular area. You'll see this particular firearm which has generated multiple hits, but the firearm is not recovered. You see that. And that tells you that there's one person who's actually terrorizing the area.
Meanwhile, controversial figure Vusmuzi Kat Matlala, who has been mentioned at the Matlanga Commission numerous times, will have to remain behind bars as all the cases against him are centralized for trial. Yesterday, the High Court dismissed Matlala's bail appeal, saying his release would not serve the interests of justice. The alleged crime boss is facing attempted murder charges for allegedly calling a hit on his socialite ex-girlfriend, Tebogo Tobejane, in 2023. Khomotso Modise reports.
Vusmuzi Kat Matlala has 10 other attempted murder charges against him for hits on people, including taxi boss Joe Sibanyoni in August 2022 and Sienkimo Kubung, known as DJ Vetis, in January last year. All these cases will have to be centralized ahead of his trial, which he'll attend while incarcerated. Meanwhile, the NPA has welcomed the High Court's dismissal of Matlala's bail, but notes that more work lies ahead. Spokesperson Pindim Jonondwan.
The judgment proves once more that as the NPA, we cannot rest on our laurels, but must continue working tirelessly to ensure that justice prevails.
Matlala will return to the Alexandra Magistrates Court next month, where the centralization is expected to be finalized. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
Witnesses in the trial of former preschool teacher who killed and raped her ex-boyfriend's child have been warned not to speak about issues beyond their expertise. Amberly Hughes appeared before the Johannesburg High Court for the first day of her sentencing, and on the stand yesterday was a social worker who assessed her. Hughes was convicted for the rape and murder of 4-year-old Nada Jane Chalita. She sexually assaulted and drowned the little girl in a bathtub in 2023. Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
During her testimony, social worker Johanna Volmorans shared her assessment of Amberly Hughes' mental and emotional state. She noted that Hughes is diagnosed with multiple neurological disorders that gravely affect her mental health. She further determined that she could be healed from the conditions, a statement that alarmed Judge Richard Makabela.
The objection is that you seem to be going beyond what the report has said. And to the extent that it is true that you went beyond what the report has said, you are not qualified to give evidence pertaining to mental illness.
Makabela reiterated that Volmorans can only give testimony in her capacity as social worker and not a clinical psychologist. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
And at least 3 people have died in Jamaica as the island nation braces for the world's strongest storm this year and possibly the strongest on record. There are warnings of catastrophic and life-threatening conditions. Hurricane Melissa is a Category 5 storm, which is the maximum strength. It is intensifying and is expected to make landfall on the Caribbean island today. 4 people have died in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, in addition to the lives lost in Jamaica so far. Experts warn that Melissa's slow pace may mean prolonged torrential rain in some areas, increasing the risk of deadly flooding and landslides. Gold is trading at $3,986.89 an ounce. The rand is at 17.22 to the dollar, 22.99 to the pound, 20.08 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $65.64 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident reported in the city of Tshwane. It's right on the N1 South Erasmus Kloof, right after Rigel Avenue, causing delays. There's also slow-moving traffic on the N1 South in Midrand, just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. Peak time delays piling up there.
And in your sport, the Proteas rest key players for the 3-match T20 series with Pakistan that starts this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Proteas women the underdogs going into tomorrow's World Cup semi-final with England. And tonight in Orlando, Pirates are hosting the defending champions Magesi in the Carling Knockout Cup.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thundershowers expected. Johannesburg starting at 12 degrees, peaking at 26. Pretoria 18 and 27. Firearm 18 and 28. The top story in EWN this hour. A ballistics expert has told the Madlanga of inquiry about evidence suggesting that specific guns have been linked to multiple crimes in the country.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock, let's walk the talk indeed. How does a team of 42 people get through 29,000 guns? 29,000, and each of them is linked to a murder, and you assign a team of just 40 odd people. That's what we heard yesterday from that ballistics expert at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about evidence suggesting that not only have these specific guns been linked to criminal cases, but that there isn't a desire to solve some of these cases. It's extraordinary what we allow to happen. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. Today we're speaking to the former National Police Commissioner, Riah Phiyega. You may remember yesterday we spoke to one of her former deputies whom she dismissed. She found 6 deputy National Police Commissioners and she wanted to streamline the structure to 3. Her actions were heavily criticized in the courts. We spoke to Dr. Leah Shibambo, who said she found out at a press briefing she no longer had a job. Riah Phiyega listened to that interview and wants to offer an alternative. We'll speak to her just before 7. And then a horror case of alleged bullying. A grade 1 learner is facing learning difficulties after she says she was assaulted at school, an elite school, and the parents are not satisfied with the response. The mom speaks to us after 7.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. My name is Bongani Bingwa, and I, of course, am with my colleagues Amoramila and Muteo Kharipe in the studio. We've got producers Yamtanda and Rofua taking your calls. Karabo responsible for all the social media clips you might see. And, of course, KG starting the clock. The usual suspects join us. Adam Gilchrist, Cindy Paluta, Sfiso Zulu, Kabazela, all of that still to come. But perhaps let's start with what you just heard now in Eyewitness News. This ballistic expert at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry suggesting that not only do we have guns that have been linked to multiple criminal cases, but that there isn't capacity to get through all of the cases. Guns believed now to be connected to the murder of the Vereniging engineer Armand Swart have also been linked to more than 20 other cases, including the murders of DJ. I still can't call him somebody. It's somebody. It's written somebody. Don't look at me like that, Mateo. Fine.
Somebody.
Body. And DJ Vintos. The worst thing about the SWAT case is that they got the wrong guy. That's not even who they thought. They got the wrong guy. They pummeled bullets into him outside his workplace. It was a case of mistaken identity. See, his company had exposed how a firm linked to Katiso Katie Mulefe's nephew, Lucky Mulefe, had secured a Transnet tender through corrupt means. And they thought, well, let's just go kill the guy. And they shot the wrong guy and they killed the wrong guy. Now we've got, this brigadier, Mishak Mkabela, who's the head of SAPS's ballistic section at the Forensic Laboratory in Silverton, testified yesterday at the inquiry. And he says, if you want to know how bad crime is in South Africa, just come to my storeroom. and have a look-see. Here's what he said.
I always say if anyone wants to appreciate the level of high crime involving firearms in South Africa, one must just visit my strong room where I keep exhibits. Then one will appreciate that we are living in a dangerous country. Commissioner, at any given point, I have more than 29,000 firearms, and each of those firearms, a victim has been killed. And I only have 42 analysts to handle that volume of work. My case manager commander approaches me not long to take me to the case, to the strong safe, to show me that, Brigadier, I have now run out of space to put my exhibits. I don't know where to put them anymore. I'm putting them in a bin because I can't file them. When I started with ballistic, we had one safe. Currently, we had to repurpose a museum to make it a safe. It's now full as we speak. We don't have space anymore.
They don't have space. The storeroom doesn't have space. This museum they repurposed doesn't have space. What do they do with all these weapons? And you and I are sitting there hoping that our cases are being solved. I interviewed somebody yesterday for something else, and he was talking about how there were cartridges at the scene where he was shot. He said, surely they can at least link or trace the weapon. Now we're finding out. This is the chaos that we are seeing. Some would say it goes all the way back to the start of the tenure of the police commissioner, Riah Phiyega. That's certainly how Bengani, the former police minister, would have it. Yesterday, last week, he stated in his testimony before the ad hoc committee before Parliament that the damage Riah Phiyega caused was irreversible. This is Bengani's version. We'll speak to Riah Phiyega a little later on the show today. Have a listen.
First thing, everybody that I worked with dispersed him. It took Masimula to Limbomba as a deputy. Took him Kwanazi and told him to guard the buildings. You know, there is a competition of the special forces that usually takes place at a place called Dubai. At one time when Mkwanas was there, it took place in France. The Special Task Force of South Africa was number 4 in the world. We were number 4. Under Riah Phiyega, we were number 40. She added 0.
He went on. He was scathing in how he described what she did as National Police Commissioner.
The real mess that she did was to kill the TROT, Technical Response Team, for the criminals. We have cluster policing, where 5 stations to 7 will be together. We said every station will have about 10 members of the TROT, Amaparet. So if there is an incident there, they will converge and respond. But if not, they will patrol their precincts. That's why crime like housebreaking, because those guys, they saturated and took over policing every street, every township. Even today, if you move around here, people are asking, where are the barracks? Ask Riah Phiyega, where are they? As she come, it dismantles them. It took their cars, it took a veto that they were using and give it to the station commander. How do you take a veto and give it to the station commander to go and buy milk?
He was excoriating his testimony. Perhaps one more. This time he was being questioned by the DA's Ian Cameron about how the late former police minister Nathi Mthethwa had worked to rebuild, to strengthen the police. And then, of course, as Cele would have it, it was Phiyega who undid all of that work.
Mthethwa was on this thing of reversing things that have been done and working. It was not only him reversing things. It was with his president. He's the president of one organization today, to reverse things. You know, we built a solid police. As your chair, you go and check your crime stats, Honorable. I'm sure you have checked your crime stats. Yeah. Look at 2009. look at 2010, look at 2011. From 2012 was a Concord.
It shot up.
Was a Concord up to this point. You know why they were Concord sometimes? Because all structures were dismantled. The management that was found there was dismantled. Could not be corners on this one. But Riah gave the men the bells. Gave the men the bells for the destruction she caused in the South African police.
That is how Bheki sees it. Riah Phiyega wants to join us to explain her side of the story in this next hour.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
17 after 6 o'clock. We're asking you a shout out this morning. This is usually, of course, something that illustrates something we want to tell you that is in the news at the moment. And here's a fun one for you. Look at where you are now in terms of your life. Consider where you come from, perhaps humble beginnings, perhaps a background where you didn't have quite as much as you do. You've achieved some measure of success in your career, in your life. You have a good marriage, perhaps, great kids, whatever it is that you think is going for you. What, though, despite all of that success, has remained untouched or unchanged about you? What's that one thing that remains true to who you are? And let me give you an example. Because of course, I live with an elderly and aging parent. I've got young kids, so I'm kind of sandwiched in between. So one of the things I have to do is I have to have a full-time domestic help, right? But I can spring clean your house from top to bottom, from the windows, scrub the floors, dust, polish the furniture. If there's a speck of dust in the house, I will find it. So for all the people that have worked for me in the house, I've been the one to teach them how to do the washing, how to keep the dishcloths clean. Sweetie, I can clean your house spick and span. I don't do it often, but every December, I almost relish the chance to do it myself when I'm on leave. And of course, the housekeeper isn't there. I almost relish that once a year moment where I do the washing myself and I do the ironing myself. And I often find so many wrong things or things that haven't been done throughout the year.
Do you do it for friends?
I can't think of anybody I would be that close to. Amo, what hasn't changed for you?
It's the so my brother. I'm the last born in my home, right? There's two things for me. When I'm home, I'm the last born. I'm the one that gets sent everywhere, and I will get this and this. I will go to this one's house and get that. That's my role, right? It remains. It's never changed.
Always once a last born,
always a last born.
All
Yeah.
right, Mateo?
I think the one thing that hasn't changed about me is whenever I'm back home, I still like walking to the shops. If you get what I mean, like you still get a feel of where you're from. Yeah. I still don't take that lightly. Whenever I'm there, exactly.
Take 2 hours to go buy a loaf of bread.
Not 2 hours. But you have to see the chance.
Send us a WhatsApp voice note 072 702 1702. Despite all your success, you now live in the suburbs. You drive that car that you always thought you would. You've got that job you always wanted. What's that one thing about you that remains unchanged?
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Muteo Haripa, you've got a question of your own at 20 after 6?
Yeah, I want to know from you and 702 Landers whether you're problematic or you're somebody that's good at doing this. What's the hardest thing to handle when planning a holiday? Is it getting everyone to agree on the same date that you're going to be going?
Yeah.
Finding a destination that you all agree on? Committing to the right accommodation. Some people like hotels, some self-catering, or activities that you're going to be doing when you're on holiday.
Ooh, there's quite a lot of the above. I get excited. I want to be there. I'm going with you. I can't tell you the number of times I've committed to a trip only at the last minute to then worry about all those things and think, I'm not sure.
You're a flaker. Don't flake.
I am. I'm a flaker. So the hardest thing would be going. For me.
Amu?
For me, it's time. I want for everybody, the planning, everything will be swift for me. I don't even mind being the admin, sorting out the paying, the place where we're going to stay, all of that. The time for us to leave is really, I find it so hard to manage. Because everyone will be late. People will say, oh, I forgot to pack this.
And you're ready.
And I'm ready. Time for me is more precious than all of those.
Maybe travel ahead. They'll find you there.
You see why some of us just don't go.
702.
Weather.
What conditions can you expect on this Tuesday? Mostly a cloudy day in store for Gauteng. We're expecting isolated showers and thunder showers. Temperatures in Joburg peaking at 27. That's the same high in Vereeniging. 29 for Pretoria. 20 for Cape Town. Bloemfontein 26. Durban 22. East London and Gqeberha 21.
EWN Traffic.
Right, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got an accident in the city of Tshwane. It's on the N1 South. It's after Rigel Avenue. It's causing delays already. Please be on the lookout there. And if you want to avoid it, you still have got the N14 South towards the Braakfontein turn off to use while traveling on the N3 North bumper to bumper traffic between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange. Roadworks are taking place along this route, and that's the reason for that queue. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North. This is between Boysons and Carr Street. Peak time delays there. I'll have more updates for you, but if you come across anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You could spend 10 minutes trying to fix the office printer, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 65-year-old Helena, who now pays an incredibly low 398 Rand a month for her 2025 Hyundai Exter. With Outsurance, you get the legendary Out Bonus that pays you a percentage of your premiums back if you're claim-free. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 48-year-old Felicity now pays only 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. Outsurance will either save you money on your car insurance or give you cash. If Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
You can become a victim of a legal problem. Wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Work continues on the N17 Tonk-meter section in the city of Ekurhuleni. Crews are milling and resurfacing more than 30 kilometers of road using advanced methods that recycle existing material for a cost-effective and sustainable upgrade. So far, over 18,000 tons of asphalt have been placed, and with more than 158 million rand set aside for small businesses, the project is boosting local jobs and skills too. Drive cautiously. Better roads are on the way. Sunrail, an agency of the Department of Transport.
Naked people are great dancers. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin, they have more time to perfect their moves. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
25 minutes after 6 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. We're asking a question today. I mean, have you had a matter investigated by SAPS, maybe a really serious one that needed something like ballistics? Well, the reason you may not have had an answer is because, as we said earlier, they're facing severe staff shortages and massive backlogs. They now say they've got over 108,000 firearm-related cases awaiting review across the country. We heard about that, of course, in the Madlanga Commission yesterday, as I told you. South Africa's medicines regulator has approved lenacapavir, which is that twice-yearly HIV prevention jab, and it's opening the way for the country to begin a public rollout. How hard would you try to get rid of a cockroach or a creepy crawly in your home? See why you have to clean your own house, Muteo? Well, a woman in South Korea, listen to this, accidentally set her apartment building on fire trying to kill a cockroach with a makeshift flamethrower made from a bug spray and a lighter. The blaze led to the death of one of her neighbors. Can you imagine? All because she was trying to kill a cockroach. Adam Gilchrist will have more on that story in about 2 hours' time. Grammy Award-winning DJ Black Coffee has been inducted into the Qatar Airways Creative 100 at Art Basel in Paris, joining a global list celebrating influential figures in art, music, and culture. He says the honor is motivating him to keep pushing creative boundaries while continuing to fly the South African flag through his global performances and projects. And I suppose one of the things you can say about Black Coffee is that he stayed true to his roots, has he not? So here's a question for you. What's that one thing in your life, as I say, that has remained unchanged and untouched no matter how much success you have achieved? What's that one thing? Black Coffee can stay true to his roots. How are you staying true to yours? And it was on this day in 2013, New Zealand sensation Lorde made history when her debut single, Royals, climbed to the top of the UK singles chart. She was only 16 years old, becoming the youngest solo artist to achieve a UK number one since Billie Piper in 1998.
But every song's like gold teeth, grey goose dripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. We're driving Cadillacs in our dreams. But everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, islands, tigers on a gold leash. We don't care. We aren't caught up in your love affair, and we'll never be royal. It's a run in our blood. That kind of luck's just ain't for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be
EWN Business.
All right, we can start with business, or we could do the newspapers first. KG, what do you think? Should we start with business? Let's go to business. We'll come to the newspapers in a moment. Muteo, the hardest thing to handle when planning a holiday? Getting everyone to agree to a date, a destination, the right accommodation, activities. What prompts the question?
Bongani, a new study from Standard Bank shows that South Africans are traveling more than ever. Domestic holiday spending grew by 19.3% to 57 billion rand between April of 2023 and March of 2024. Now, 32% of that spend went to flight bookings, accounting for 1.5 million bookings, mostly by private banking clients. Now, the bank says flight prices have gone up since the COVID pandemic, with airlines quoting as high as 5,000 rand for a single flight ticket from Johannesburg to Cape Town. The high prices even prompted the Competition Commission and Parliament to consider a probe into flight tickets in the country. On the other hand, a survey by Getaway magazine found that 41% of South Africans prefer rental cars for their holidays, citing convenience and the flexibility of independent travel. Now, travel and tour operators and accommodation accounted for 26 and 21% of spend, respectively. Standard Bank says over the past 5 years, travel has seen a strong rebound. The bank's data shows that the past 2 years recorded the biggest surge yet as the wanderlust continues to soar in the country. Marriott Bonvoy's 2025 ticket to travel research shows that South Africans plan to take an average of 6.5 trips this year. For many, this is more than last year.
Oh, gosh. All right. While we're at it, then I might as well do the newspapers before we get your indicators, Muteo. The front page of the Business Day, very important story, 1 trillion rand in exports. That's the potential we have as a country, which is more than any other on the continent, which, if exploited, could result in annual exports in the next 5 years of that much, says the Business Day. 42 staff to test 29,000 guns. That ballistics bottleneck we told you about, that's the front page of the Sowetan. And the Citizen, the DA, EFF, will they gun for Lessufi? This, of course, as the DA wants to table a motion of no confidence in the Gauteng Premier. Your indicators, Mateo?
Rand at 17 Rand 21 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 8 cents against the euro, and exactly 23 Rand against the British pound. The price of gold below that $4,000 mark now at $3,986. Platinum at $1,586 an ounce, while Brent crude is at $65.58 a barrel. More business after 7.
All right, straight to the news desk we go. Swiso Zulu, what do you have for us there out of KZN?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Protesting organizations in the province have vowed to ensure that justice is served for 2 children who plunged down a lift shaft in Durban. Last week, 7-year-old Aphelile Dlamini died while his twin sister Apile remains in hospital after falling into a shaft at the building they lived in. Thousands of people yesterday took to the streets in Durban demanding justice for the children. March in March movement leader Jacinga Ngobese Zuma.
This is not the first time an incident like this happened. In 2023 there was an incident of this nature and there were no answers given. And it's 2025 now, there's the same thing happening again. So it can't be.
KZN ANC Youth League leader Representative Nkululeko Mfeka shares the same sentiments.
We must have an immediate intervention on this and justice to be served as quickly as possible to the families. And we want time frames. We do not want flimsy promises that are actually going to be thrown on the air without time frames.
In Cape Town, police have confirmed that no criminal case has yet been opened against a mother who was spotted forcing her toddler to drink alcohol on CCTV. The video captured on a neighborhood watch system shows the woman sitting along the road in Woodstock offering the child a sip from a bottle. Woodstock Ward Councillor Yusuf Mohammed praised the city's neighborhood safety officers for tracking the woman down.
If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out for help. The city's social development team offers confidential support before tragedy strikes. Let's keep working together to protect our children and strengthen our community.
Meanwhile, the toddler is now in the care of the Social Development Department, which is tasked with investigating. Department spokesperson Monique Motlok-Malchas.
Generally, when a child is removed, this is confirmed by the Children's Court and a social worker conducts a child protection investigation, presents findings to the court, who then decides on the further placement of the child.
And in Stellenbosch, researchers have raised concerns about the potential harm of flavorings in baby food. Their research found that many packages in South Africa contained added flavorings that could negatively affect babies' eating habits and long-term health. Researcher for the Department of Food Sciences at Stellenbosch University, Walina Barnard, says exposing babies to these sweet flavorings could have lasting negative effects.
Almost 85% of baby cereals and porridges contain flavorings. The flavorings were primarily of sweet flavors, with vanilla being the most prevalent flavor. Other flavors included caramel, chocolate, honey, and rooibos.
She says that the danger is that babies could grow to prefer these sweet flavorings over natural flavors in foods.
Our study shows that about a third of commercial complementary foods contain flavorings, with just over 3/4 of these containing 1 and the remainder up to 3 flavorings.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 12 and 18 degrees, peaking at highs between 26 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Soweto along Chris Hani Road. This is just as you leave the area towards the N1. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic in Eldorado Park on the N12 east between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway while traveling in the city of Tshwane. Expect delays on the N1 South approaching the Flying Saucer interchange due to an accident after Rigel Avenue.
The top story this hour, there are calls for justice to be served for 2 children who plunged down a lift shaft in Durban.
702. Serving the 702 family in 702 land, including those of you in Krugersdorp. Krugersdorp is the site of an 1880 gathering at which more than 6,000 men vowed to fight for Transvaal's independence. Following the discovery of gold on the Witwatersrand, Krugersdorp was established as a town in 1887. Treason trialist and SACP leader Yusuf Dadoo was born in Krugersdorp, and Brad Binder, the first South African to win a MotoGP championship, is also from Krugersdorp. 702. Let's walk the talk across 702 land, including Krugersdorp.
Prime Media, South Africa's most trusted media group, presents Prime Impact, a free 1-hour business seminar running daily at the Prime Media offices in Sandton from the 3rd to the 7th of November. Learn how radio and digital can reach your target market and grow your business with more customers. Every registered business receives a tailored demo ad and a simple campaign plan, plus access to event-only package opportunities. Seats are limited. Secure your spot now. Register at primeimpact.co.za. That's primeimpact.co.za.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore, it's who you are, and you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
PG Glass Repair, PG Glass Replace.
Hi, I'm Telane. Got a tip. Our advanced repair technology fixes it fast with the best results. No insurance, we offer affordable cash deals.
For quality you can trust, visit pg.co.za today.
702. WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. This is Tebelo from Kimpton Park. What I still enjoy doing up to this point in December, I still enjoy going to the mountain and seeing the boys who are being initiated and finally attending their graduation ceremony. There is nothing that satisfies my soul like that. Thank you.
Good morning, Bongs. Look, I don't know, and it's been happening ever since I moved out the house or home. Every time I go back, I always find faults, and I always want to fix it. So whether it's cleaning or dirty dishes or looking at the grass and seeing things, not done well, I just have to fix it because of the standard that my parents raised. My own place, not so much, but at home, I always find something that I have to do, to a point where even they know that shower's gonna get you and do something. But yeah, my own place is neglected, Shem. Home first, I guess. Chaba from Benoni. Cheers.
Clearly a homeboy, right? Clearly a homeboy is Chaba from Benoni. We're asking you, despite all your success and all the things you've done with your life, what is that one thing that remains unchanged about you?
Good morning, Bongani. I'm Svido in Guatemala. There's no side of the story Riah Phiyega can explain. We are all there to witness the havoc that they caused to SAPS. I mean the trio in the form of Jacob Zuma, Natim Tetwa, as well as her. Hence the Marigana massacre, which Jacob Zuma tried to pin it to Ramaphosa by forming a whitewash Fala commission. There's nothing for Riah Phiyega to explain now. They really dismantled SAPS. Thank you.
Well, she'll be joining us shortly to explain her version of events.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, very good morning to you. Here you are. You have achieved so much in your life. You are a successful sports broadcaster, one of the best in the biz. You've been doing it for a very long time. Great husband, great kids, lovely family. For all that you've achieved in your life, what's that one thing that hasn't changed about you?
Oh, geez.
So I'll give you an example. I was saying earlier that I can clean my house spick and span from top to bottom because at some point when I was growing up, we didn't have a domestic worker and we did the cleaning ourselves. And in fact, everybody who's ever worked as a cleaner in my house has been taught by me, from doing the washing to how I want the dishes done to how I want the dishcloths ironed in a particular way and folded in a particular way, how the drawers must be packed, how my kitchen cupboards must be, all of that.
You iron your dishcloth?
Of course you do.
Are we ironing dishcloths?
Yes, of course we
How
do.
do you iron your dishcloth?
You're hanging it in the sun.
Yeah.
Your dishcloths must be nice and
No.
folded. Oh, no. No, of course you iron your dishcloths.
Okay, well, that's one thing that hasn't changed about me. I don't iron my dishcloths because I need to hear from Joburg. Am I the only person who doesn't
iron your dishcloths.
I'm on either only two. It's even debatable. Do you iron your underwear?
Yes.
Okay, because people even argue with me about that because I'm like, no, underwear, men's underwear must be ironed.
Yes.
And apparently, necessarily,
No,
but
of course it
dishcloths.
Of course, especially dishcloths. I'd sooner get away with my, because I'd be the only one who knows, presumably. But the dishcloths, when somebody opens, ooh.
It's just neatly folded because it's been hanging in the sun.
Because it's been ironed properly.
No, this is fantastic. This is great.
And also, the fabric is not always durable for ironing.
It depends on what. No, don't tell me you have those towel things.
Those microfiber things. Because those things are not even towels.
Don't get, because they don't wipe anything.
And they don't dry anything.
Thank you. Let's talk cricket.
And you definitely can't iron that. It'll go up in smoke.
Let's talk cricket.
Right. Proteas playing Pakistan, the first of 3 T20s starting at 5 o'clock today. It'll be interesting to see how Quinton de Kock does after he fell for one in the historic loss to Namibia 2 weeks ago. Proteas have rested Markram Stubbs and Maharaj while David Miller is injured. Captain Donovan Ferreira.
Yeah, I think it's obviously very important. There isn't much cricket, the World Cup's just around the corner. So I think starting in this series now, it's really important for us to start nailing our skills and carry on building on all the work that's been done throughout the year. So I think this is a big starting stepping stone for us towards the World Cup.
Proteas women take on England in the Cricket World Cup semi-final tomorrow. Proteas lost 2 group games while England only lost 1. Opening batter Tasman Brits believes they head into the clash as underdogs.
I mean, everyone represents the same badge. I mean, like they said, when we're the underdogs, South Africa has a different breed. As Drika says, hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie. I just think that will definitely change a lot. And, it puts hope. I mean, we're a nation we fight. We fight for those things and we want them badly. We never got given it, handed with the golden spoon. So, yeah, if we can win that, it definitely shows that we're doing things right.
Carling Knockout Cup action tonight. Orlando Pirates are hosting the defending champions Magesi. That's at 7 p.m. In La Liga, Real Madrid captain Dani Carvajal has undergone knee surgery. He's expected to be out for the rest of the year. Brendan Rodgers has resigned as Celtic manager. He's been replaced by former boss Martin O'Neill. Springboks are gearing up to battle Japan at Wembley on Saturday. Defence coach Jerry Flannery, speaking to SuperSport, says the Rugby Championship and the end of year tour are approached completely differently.
5 consecutive games. There's no real lag time in between. So what we're looking to see is that we can maintain a level of freshness and energy for each week and deliver. We're lucky that there's good competition right the way through the squad and there's good depth. So we feel we'll probably have the ability to rotate the team to maintain that freshness. And I think it's going to be really good prep for when you come into something like a World Cup.
Kickoff on Saturday night is 6:10. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Bongani Bingwa. Underwear, you iron underwear, you iron dishcloth. Might as well you iron, what's this, scrub lap.
Hi, Bongani. Hi. Imfadugu sana. Uyi-ayine.
I knew it. This brilliant, beautiful, clever, intelligent city.
Listen. So my mom had this thing when we were growing up where she would say, she would, if she was visiting somebody for the first time, maybe she might ask for a glass of water or whatever. She said, I'd sneak to the kitchen to see what the dishcloths looked like. And that will be the decider of whether she'll eat at that home or not. And so dishcloths and how they must be were a big thing growing up, and they still remain so to this day in my house.
It's so fascinating. So that you can't come to my house because we don't iron our dishcloths.
Yeah, he's not. He's definitely not.
No, if they're dirty, I might.
Yeah, but nobody has dirty dishcloths. But ironing your dishcloths is a level.
I've seen dirty dishcloths in my time. But yes, dishcloths were meant to be ironed.
At Auto & General, we understand your business is built on more than just vehicles. It's your stock, tools and equipment, and the premises where you work. Auto & General Business Insurance is designed for businesses like yours, protecting your assets against fire, theft, storms, and other unexpected events. To protect your livelihood, visit autogen.co.za and get an obligation-free business insurance quote. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Southern Sun's Sunbreaks Summer Sale is now on until the 31st of October, saving you up to 30% on your summer holiday. Rates starting from 1,145 Rand per room per night, including breakfast. 2 kids stay and eat breakfast for free when sharing with 2 adults. Book and stand a chance to win an amazing Seychelles vacation in partnership with Savannah. Exclusive to frequent guest members. Not a member? Sign up for free and book now at southernsun.com. Savannah, not for persons under 18. Drink responsibly. T's and C's apply.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
702.
Hello, Uncle Bongani. My name is Kosnati. I am 10 years old. I go to Eco Kids Primary School. And when I grow up, I want to be a professional swimmer. And I'm excited to play the Whiz Quiz with you.
All right, can you swim through the quiz to win 10,000 Rand? That's what we want to know.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN traffic.
Look at the roads now, 14 to 7. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays in the city of Tshwane. This is on the N1 South, right near Rigel Avenue. And this is due to that accident. It's causing heavy traffic volumes while traveling in the city of Tshwane. We've got more traffic volumes reported along the N14 north approaching Euphues Road. The R80 East is also backed up between the Hairpin Bend and Eskiam Pahlele Drive. There's also queuing traffic along the N4 West between Tamboti Avenue and the Proof Plus interchange. If you're traveling on the N3 North, we really have got heavy delays here. Stop and go situation between the Yalans interchange and the Baklu. That's due to road wrecks that are taking place near the Baklu turnoff, and then a car stuck on the road near Morafontein Road. So please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9. Featuring Kellanova. The General Manager and Executive Director, Philip Neiman, will be in conversation with me, and we do this every Wednesday to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Bongani, you know, Riah Phiyega, when she comes to you, to your show, the only thing that she can do for herself as a favor is to tell what really happened. If she has to, name some people's names, let her do so, because her defense of not wanting to tell what has happened is what makes her guilty in our eyes. Because the Ramaphosas of this world are involved in this thing. And Riah Phiyega will want to, downplay this thing. She must tell it all. People are telling it all. Tell it all. Tell it as if you are in Mazanga. Sindile,
I don't know. Sometimes we want people to tell it all, and what we really mean by that is to tell us what we want to hear. Begitgele made a really, really interesting point that I've made a number of times in the many years since the Marikana massacre. And I was there on the ground reporting as a journalist in the days after the shooting of the unarmed miners. And it always has seemed strange to me that, yes, whilst Ramaphosa was one of the mine bosses, if you will, that he is the one who got away with most of the mud, if you will, whereas the sitting head of state, whose police fired on those miners, seems to be regarded as innocent and having nothing to do with the matter. I've always been interested in how that narrative came about.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
All right, let's give away some cash today. We're playing with Nkosinathi, who is 10 years old and wants to be a swimmer later on in life. All right, Nkosinathi, can we butterfly our way to 10,000 Rand?
Yes.
Yes is the confident answer. KG, start the clock. Spell the word evening.
INEVENT.
It's EVENING. Which word is a noun? Is it arrow or is it allow?
Arrow.
Correct. Complete the saying, his words were music to my what?
Yes.
Correct. True or false? New Mexico is one of the states of the USA.
False.
It's true. Of which coastal province is Pietermaritzburg the capital?
Cape Town.
KwaZulu-Natal. In movies, what is the name of Batman's sidekick?
Robin.
Correct. True or false? Fish use respiratory organs called gills and not lungs.
True.
Correct. In which sport does a bowler shout, "How's that?" when he thinks a batsman is out?
Please repeat the question.
I can't repeat the question. We've run out of time. The question was, in which sport does a bowler shout, "How's that?" when he thinks a batman is out? And the answer we were looking for there, of course, would have been cricket. And that means, Nkosinati, you walk away with a credible 400 Rand.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand is what's up for grabs. We'll give you 1,000 Rand if you send an answer based on anything that piqued your interest during the show. WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. Then a little later, someone else will win 2,000 Rand if they ask a question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
8 to 7 on to this now. Her name first dominated headlines in South Africa as the first female national police commissioner. Some look back on her time as a time of reform. Others say it was nothing but chaos. Yesterday, you may remember, we spoke to former Deputy Commissioner Dr. Riah Phiyega, whose name was mentioned by the former minister, Bheki at that ad hoc investigation into alleged infiltration by criminal cartels of our law enforcement. She told us yesterday about how she was dismissed summarily by Riah Phiyega, who, listening to that interview, asked for an opportunity to come and give her version of that story. And she joins us now. A very good morning to you, and as always, a pleasure to have you on our show.
Good morning, Bongani, and thank you very much for giving us this opportunity.
All right, Dr. Riah Phiyega yesterday told us that you dismissed her without warning, without explanation. She says all these years later, she has continued to ask what it is that she had done. It was, of course, part of your restructuring of SAPS. You wanted to get rid of, I think, was it 6 deputy police commissioners you found, and you wanted to streamline it to 3. And she says you never told her the real reason why she had to go.
Okay, thank you very much, Bongani, for that. I'm just going to take 2 minutes to create context for you and your listeners. Firstly, let me empathize with Mufume. Her feelings are probably real. You know, it's always never easy to leave a workplace where you've worked for many years. And also to mention that SAPS is led by 10 people, a national commissioner and 9 provincial commissioners. And those national commissioners and the national commissioner and the provincial commissioner must set up administration to support them. That would include the deputy national commissioners, the divisional commissioners, the deputy provincial commissioners, etc. The decision to review substructure at the time was not a decision taken lightly, and not by me. I found the process on. And Leah Mufume was part of that process. It was led by General Magda Stander. And Parliament was putting a lot of pressure on the police to say, there is no way that you could be having 6 deputy national commissioners. The structure is top heavy. And I can tell you for free that the SAPS has the most deputy director generals. A lieutenant general is a deputy director general. At the time, they had 38. And the Parliament was saying, deal with that, take the resources to the cold face of crime, where crime is being fought.
I'm going to interrupt you there. I think the reasons might well be self-explanatory. I think the contentious issue here is that she says, and we've seen, of course, court action as far as this is concerned against you. She says she wasn't properly consulted. And as far as I recall, the courts at some point agreed.
It is not true, and I'll tell you why. This structure that was started long before me was consulted with the National Management Forum, which she was part of, more than 3 times. And after the structure was adopted, and when you have a structure in the police service, you consult with the minister, you take it to parliament, and once it is approved, you implement. When we implemented, I introduced a new way of doing things in the police, to consult with each and every one of the people who were moving into those positions. A thing that the police never do. They give you a brown envelope and tell you where to go, and you comply.
When you say it wasn't true that the courts agreed that you dismiss these people without consultation, wasn't that in fact the case in terms of the judgment of the Labour Court in 2014?
No, I'll tell you, I'll come to that one. Leah and Dr. Libya, I consulted with them for
Hold
over
on,
6
ma'am.
months.
I'm asking you, didn't the Labour Court say that you had fired them without reason?
The Labour Court actually agreed with us to say, they didn't say reinstate them, you fired them without reason. They said consult with them in terms of 189, which talks about the employers restructuring or separation based on those premises.
No,
It
ma'am.
did not say.
Let me quote from it. I've got the judgment in front of me. It says there is no
Yes.
evidence that between the time of contemplating the applicant's termination and taking the decision to do so, he was advised that the termination of his services for operational reasons was being contemplated and consequently invited to consult with his employer in terms of Section 189. You didn't tell them.
Yeah. Remember, this comes after 6 months when we have been exchanging letters,
Okay.
when we have
I'm
been
asking
meeting,
you,
when
the
we have been
judgment
talking.
very clearly says there appears to have been a complete failure to invoke a consultation process. That didn't happen. She insists it didn't happen. You're saying it's not true. And I'm pointing to you to a Labour Court judgment that agrees with her version.
It is not true, and I'll tell you why. Because even
It's in the
letter that
judgment. What do you mean it's not true?
No, Bongani. I'm saying, what does Section 189 say? It says it gives the employer the opportunity to negotiate with the employee based on issues of restructuring or termination or whatever. And when the court said so, I do say to them that let us continue with the consultation, because all she is saying is that I will not take that role, because she is not saying because it is not a role she can do. She considered yesterday in your interview that she had the ability and capacity to head the foundation.
That wasn't the issue
But
that she was challenging. She said you were demoting her. You were creating a new role that was... Here's the point, Can
I just finish this one and then I'll come to your
Hold
question.
on. Here's the point. In terms of your overall record, there have been many processes that have found you wanting, from the Firearm Commission to the Claassen inquiry, which found you not fit for purpose, which in fact even said at some point that as far as the evidence you submitted to the Firearm Commission, you were not a reliable witness, and that you had maybe even misled that commission and even the president in terms of your initial report about Marikana. Here we are, you and I, debating something that is in black and white in a Labour Court judgment. You have been found time and again to not be a satisfactory witness, and that you at times are disingenuous and even facile. These are things that have been on the record about you.
I'll come to your issues, Bongani, that you are raising, and again, it's those type of issues that one has always to answer to. General Mofumbi says, I assured everybody that nobody is going to lose your job, nobody is going to be demoted. She was given that position at a lieutenant general position level 15. All she wanted to be called is a deputy national commissioner. And lieutenant generals are deputy national commissioners, are provincial commissioners, are divisional commissioners. Level 15. None of her status was reduced. Her rank, her labels were the same. Her salaries were the same. So the issue here was that call me a deputy national commissioner.
Ma'am,
And that is why when gender Libya,
I suppose what we will do now is leave it at your word versus hers, but I'm challenging you to say there are enough processes that have found you wanting time and time again in terms of the facts that you present. And even after all of these matters, I mean, the last time you tried to overturn the Firearm Commission, that case was thrown out of court, dismissed with costs, and yet you come and you still insist there's a record to clear.
That case was dismissed in terms of technicality and time.
Ma'am,
the
you might be better
merit
served.
of this issue was never heard.
You might be better served
It was never
leaving
heard,
these things
and
alone.
you can hold that view. But I want to say to you, Klassen himself actually said, "I did not lie to the commission."
No,
it
he
is
said
written.
he
It is
said,
in black and
it is
in black and white.
He said
It
that
is written that I did not lie. I did not present lies to the commission. And I want to say to you, Bongani, no national commissioner runs an operation. If there is anything happening in KZN, you will not find any national commissioner commanding that. It is the law, it is the practice, and that anyone in this country believes that I commanded Marikana.
you were the national commissioner. You were the country's top cop. You even described it as the best policing, whilst the Klassen inquiry said it was the worst possible policing practices. We're going to have to leave it there. You and I can agree to disagree, but I think the record stands as for itself and speaks for itself. And I think you might be better advised letting sleeping dogs lie.
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview focuses on a horrific story of alleged bullying at one of Joburg's elite schools. We'll hear the pleas of really a mom in turmoil.
This is EWN.
MPs are concerned about students increasingly using their funds to gamble, and Jamaica braces for the world's strongest storm of the year. Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. Parliament's Higher Education Committee Chairperson Tebogo says while he does not condone students using their financial aid money to gamble, the inconsistent payments from the National Student Financial Aid Scheme is backing students into a corner. A recent Daily Maverick investigation revealed that students are among the growing online gambling population in the country, many using their student allowances in efforts to just make ends meet. At a briefing at Parliament yesterday, Litsia said that while he sympathized with the plight of many students, online gambling is not the answer. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
With tertiary institutions drawing the line on students with outstanding tuition who could face not being allowed to register for next year, Committee Chairperson Tebogo Letsie says NSFAS has to improve on their payment system. He says many students are forced to make alternative plans when their allowances don't get paid on time, often borrowing money and attempting to make more by gambling.
Many of these students, they not only take this allowance to take care of themselves, some of them or many of them also support their families at home. And this is a reality.
Letsie says by not paying students on time, NSFAS is contributing to the online gambling problem.
It's the system that we've created that creates this problem for ourselves.
Letsie says while concerning, online gambling among students is not unique to South Africa, with recent studies in the United Kingdom also showing an increasing trend, often due to economic hardship. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
A ballistics expert has told the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about evidence suggesting that specific guns have been linked to multiple criminal cases. Brigadier Meshach Mkabela, head of ballistics at the South African Police Service, testified at the commission yesterday. He's revealed that guns connected to the murder of vereniging engineer Armand Swart have also been linked to more than 20 other cases, including the murders of DJ Sambodi and DJ Fintos. Swart was killed last year in a case of mistaken identity shortly after his company exposed how a firm linked to alleged crime kingpin Katiso Katie Molefe's nephew, Lucky Molefe, secured a Transnet tender through corrupt means. During his testimony, Mkabela emphasized that it is often the case that specific firearms are linked to numerous criminal investigations.
With taxi violence, the CIT, cash in transit, what they call is in Kabi, you will find that there's one particular firearm that you see terrorizing a particular area. You will see this particular firearm which has generated multiple hits, but the firearm is not recovered. You see that. And that tells you that there's one person who's actually terrorizing the area.
And people in Jamaica are bracing for the world's strongest storm for this year. At least 3 deaths have so far been reported in Jamaica ahead of Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 storm, which is the maximum strength. 4 people have died in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, in addition to the lives that have been lost in Jamaica. Experts are warning that Melissa's slow pace may mean prolonged torrential rain in some areas, increasing the risk of deadly flooding and landslides. This man says he has taken in many people for shelter in his shop.
So we had everything anyway here. We have food, drinks, soap, toothpaste. So just agree to let everybody just stay here. We have the company as well. I'm concerned about the farmers, the fishermen.
Gold is trading at $3,986.89 an ounce. The rand is at 17.22 to the dollar, 22.99 to the pound, 20.08 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $65.64 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays along several roads this morning due to multiple incidents. On the N3 North, we've got an accident that happened right near Linksfield Road. It is causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of the Airlines interchange. And then on the R24 East, another accident reported. This one is right near the N12 merges, causing delays from the Kilulis interchange. So please be on the lookout there.
And in your sport, the Proteas play Pakistan in the first of 3 T20s today at 5. Well, tonight in the Carling Cup, Orlando Pirates hosting the defending champions Makhesi at Orlando Stadium at 7 p.m. And the Springboks not expecting an easy game against Japan on Saturday.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg is at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 26. Pretoria 18 and 27. Vereniging 18 as well, and a high of 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Parliament's Higher Education Chairperson Bongani Bingwa says while he does not condone students using their financial aid money to gamble, the inconsistent payments from NSFAS is backing students into a corner.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock, we just spoke to the former National Police Commissioner, Riah Phiyega. And the unknown citizen on X says, bro, you gave General Mapu a chance to come clean, yet you deny General Phiyega a chance. You want her to submit to your auto-fixed rhetoric. You're playing for the crowd. That's not fair. I think the obvious difference here is, as I mentioned to Ms. Phiyega, there are a number of processes, including the Firearm Commission and the Clarkson inquiry, which was, of course, a recommendation of the Firearm Commission to say, look into the conduct of this person that found her wanting. The Clarkson inquiry said that Phiyega was not a satisfactory witness in all respects. It said that she'd been ambivalent and contradictory on a couple of issues, including the tactical options that were discussed. The Pretoria High Court found that her evidence had placed her credibility in serious doubt. So we've got all these processes already on the record that say what this woman says at times is simply not credible. Why would I let her get on the radio and repeat it without challenge?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
All sorts of inquiries on at the moment. Let's take you now to the Standing Committee on Public Accounts that has been looking into the Road Accident Fund, and there have been some shocking revelations there. Here, Action SA MP Alan David Beasley essentially saying that the state of the RAF in terms of its financial liabilities might even be worse than that of Eskom in its darkest hours. Pun intended.
This is so important for the people listening, for our country. We've got 500 billion in unrecorded liabilities in the state fiscus. It's worse than Eskom. It is shocking, and I think people have put their heads in their sand intentionally, hoping this problem is going to go away, but it's not going to go away. That 500 billion has to be funded somewhere, and essentially the fuel levy is going to have to go from 2 Rand to 20 Rand to do it. And I think that's a huge train crash coming, and it's actually interesting. I actually looked at the consolidated accounts that National Treasury put out. They actually disclaimed on this basis because of the hole in the RAF that's unaccounted for. And no wonder we got junk status as a country, because we can't actually even rely on our own financial statements. 500 billion is 20% of our national budget. It is just off the charts, and I think it is shocking, and I think as a country we need to wake up.
I mean, it was absolutely shocking in terms of how that was described, but perhaps have a listen to the senior manager overseeing the audit of the Road Accident Fund, Siphesihle Mlangeni, testifying before Scopa yesterday about RAF payments that were diverted to fraudulent accounts.
Under 2 material irregularities reported to the Accounting Authority of the Road Accident Fund. The first deals with unauthorized change in banking details that resulted in diversion of funds to fraudulent bank accounts, as well as overpayment of claims due to inadequate verification. So this is linked to the duplicate payment. So it was a combination of payments. About 30 million relates to claims payments, and about 5 million was for normal vendors, normal suppliers that they pay from time to time for services rendered. So what had happened is REV processed the payments. They went through all the various processes within REV, and when the payment was released for the file to go to the bank, that's when the interception took place, resulting in the banking details en route to the bank being changed and funds being diverted to fraudulent bank account.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
13 after 7, things you need to know at this hour. Firoz Kashalia, who is now the acting police minister, has warned that SAPS is being plagued by abusive power and inappropriate relationships, as of course you've heard in the Madlanga and ad hoc parliamentary committee, in that commission rather. And he says these disclosures are shining a light in dark places when it comes to SAPS. Big ups to Paul Biya, 92-year-old Cameroonian president, re-elected, 53.6% of the vote, extending his rule that began in 1982. That announcement predictably sparked violent protests across major cities in the country. 4 people dead, over 100 arrested amid allegations of vote rigging. And how about this? Nearly 200 or previously uncontacted tribes worldwide, mostly in the Amazon, face extinction within a decade due to illegal mining, logging, and land invasion. So these are indigenous people in various parts of the world who have not come across the modern world. I wonder what it must be like to encounter everything that modernity presents when they first encounter people from the outside. Because, of course, these are usually people deep within jungles like the Amazon and have lived in the same way for millennia. Eskom announcing a load reduction schedule for several Gauteng areas with power cuts expected during peak hours. This is about protecting transformers from illegal connections. And Janet Jackson made history on this day in 1989 when her socially charged album, Rhythm Nation 1814, began a 4-week reign at #1 on the US charts. It broke all kinds of records, this album. It had the most #1 hits across 3 calendar years. The first album to produce #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 in 3 separate calendar years. 1989's Miss You Much, 1990's Escapade and Black Cat, and of course, Love Will Never Do Without You in 1991.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
7:15, this Eyewitness News is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. There are delays in the Bedfordview area. Amma, what's going on there?
That's correct, Bongani. Bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Elands interchange and the Kilulis interchange. Well, there's an accident reported on the N12 east towards Edenvale Road. It is causing delays coming out of the Kilulis interchange, and there's also queuing traffic on the R24 and N12 west as a result. If you are traveling on the N3 north towards the Baklu interchange, do expect heavier traffic volumes due to those roadworks right near the Baklu turn-off delays from Vincent Chabalala Road. And there's more roadworks taking place on the R21 north, this time in Tembisa, right near Olifantsfontein Road. Delays coming out of the R25. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 87. My GPS took me to the wrong address. That's a good one. But fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsman ease traffic congestion and get you there quickly and safely. Since 2005, they've been doing it. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
The Big Interview.
With Bongani Bingwa.
17 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's a parent's worst nightmare, is it not? You take your child, presumably if you are able to an elite school because you want the very best that schools like that have to offer, not only in terms of education and connections and a better chance in life, but also because you believe those schools are better placed to handle the social ills that surround our society, that permeate through our society. What then when you discover that your grade 1 child has been bullied to the extent that they're now experiencing hearing difficulties? One mother discovered only after a medical visit that pencil shavings had been forced into her daughter's ears by a classmate. It's a trauma that could cause permanent hearing damage. But the bullying didn't stop there. Other incidents allegedly happened outside the classroom, including even at ballet lessons, where this child was allegedly pushed and threatened by, it appears, the same child. We're going to call our mom Thandi because we want to protect the identity of not only the family, but indeed the child in question. So Thandi is the name we're going to give you. A very good morning to you, and thank you for talking to us on 702 Breakfast.
Morning, Bongani.
Thandi, take us, firstly, can you describe your daughter before all of this started? Was she a bubbly child? Was she a happy child? How was she before all of this started?
She's always been a very outgoing child since we met her. Just by way of introduction, our daughter is adopted. We met her at 14 months old, and she's now 7 years old. So she came into our lives at the age of 20 months. Always outgoing, high achiever, very active, enthusiastic, friendly, outgoing, takes being reprimanded quite easily, has very strict parents, very socially aware, just a bubbly personality and an outgoing child, and was quite a little bit more mature even for her own age group.
When did you first notice changes, and what were they?
There were instances that started off with like a chafing on the chest, which occurred in the school playgrounds, where we could see that it was an injury on the school playgrounds. Of course, we just thought kids play. There was a second incident of her coming home with pants that were torn and somebody had pushed her on the playground. And then the incidences that continued where she gave a present, a school friend and he threatened that he hates the president and he was going to give her a fist the next day. But that parent acted very swiftly to resolve the matter, and we're very grateful. And then the last incidences started last week on Tuesday, or the Tuesday before, I think it's the 14th, where she came from ballet and she reported that she had been assaulted by one of the kids in the school. And just a point of correction for you as well, it's not the same child, it's two different kids. The ballet incident and the pencil shavings are two different children. We raised that one immediately after ballet to the teacher. It was escalated. The school called us the next day, explained the process they would follow. Whilst we were on midterm break, I then thought this was an opportunity for her to go and visit the doctor because she's not hearing us in the house and the music is getting louder and louder, or any cartoons that she's watching. And she saw the doctor last week, Monday, who confirmed that he has extracted a lot of what he calls debris in her ears and loaded with foreign objects that were put in. And he asked her what had happened, and then she managed to come out and to say that a child at the school has been putting ear shavings into her ear. And I did say to the doctor, is it something that you can medically confirm? And he said, yes, I can medically confirm.
And he did?
He gave us a written report, which the school has got on record.
How's her hearing now?
Well, they can only evaluate. He put her on a different treatment for another week, which ended yesterday. And then now we took her to an ENT who started on a new treatment program again with a new antibiotic on the ear that's really quite affected. And then obviously she's also complained of a congestion around the nose and the throat, which all of those things could be interlinked. We don't know medically for sure, but her hearing can only be tested in terms of where it stands after she's finished the antibiotics currently.
What did she tell you once the doctor confirmed these foreign objects in her ear? What did she tell you?
She confirmed that I asked her why she didn't tell the class teacher, and she said that the boy told her that if you tell anybody, I'm going to put 2 ear pencils into your ears, and that's the reason why she didn't tell.
And how?
But the ballet incident, she told me immediately at the school on the day it happened.
So what was the ballet incident?
The ballet incident, the boy said to her, I don't like your tutu. And she said, why? And then there was obviously an exchange of words. We've been denied the video footage, and the reason being the protection of obviously the identity of the children. But we're still hoping that the school can be able to work it out so that we can see what exactly happened to our child on the day. But the school did confirm that she was physically handled by the boy during the ballet area within the school.
So hang on. The school has video footage of the alleged incident.
We attended a meeting last week on Wednesday with the school. We pulled it out on the Tuesday evening, and the school has confirmed in a meeting that they've got the footage received of the incident, and they described what they can see on the footage, the time at which she arrived at ballet, and when the incident occurred, and what the boy did to her, and it is physical assault.
What did the school do about it?
They mentioned that they'd gotten in touch with the parents of the child as far back as the last Wednesday, and the parents asked for the opportunity to obviously consult with their child. And since they've got the footage, they will go back to the parents and explain the footage, and they'll let us know what will happen next. But the school did reserve its rights, that they are under no obligation to communicate with us on the sanctions that will be put forward to these children.
And how have they reacted to the pencil shaving issue?
The school has distanced itself from an emotional perspective and has rather decided to send us very well-crafted legal documents, whilst we've remained committed to the school in terms of finding some form of way to remedy this, that it never happens to another child. I think from our initial approach to the school, we did commend them highly of how our child has grown within the school academically, and she's really grown in mathematics and her reading skills and cognitive skills. However, we did express that these are the concerns. So the school's reaction as to the pencil shavings, they said that they were going to call the parents of the child, and then their later correspondence said that the son and the father denied that the pencil shavings was done by their child.
So what now? Your little girl is still going to be exposed to both of the children you say bullied her?
She would be exposed if we release her back into that classroom. But at this stage, we've got a meeting with the school this morning and the governing body at 9 a.m. And we are very hopeful that we can try and get some form of resolution out of the school and the governing body, which is obviously there to serve both the school and the parents of the school. I think what might stand out for us is that this could have been something that's also able to be reconciled by the parents themselves. And since these incidents, none of the parents have even reached out to request a meeting with us to discuss what do we do with our children, because my child will be in the wrong one day, and I need to be honorable to it that I'm a parent and I need to come to the party.
The school has issued a media statement. We obviously invited them to give us their side of the story. They say in their media statement they have a robust anti-bullying policy. They safeguard all their students, and the code is very clear on disciplinary procedures and corrective measures when things go wrong. And then that's exactly what they will keep to, and that their approach is always to center the interests of the child. Has that been your experience?
It has not been my experience. And the question asked to them at the last meeting on Wednesday with the person who heads up disciplinary was, if you hold this footage before you and the child is in the classroom right now whilst ours is at home, what are you trying to wait for? Are you waiting for a bigger incident to happen today in that classroom with those children in there? Why have you not pulled them out of the school and asked them to stay at home whilst you investigate further? Why are they still in the school environment? So I would probably say that I don't feel that letter carries the emotional sensitivity, no care, no guide in what the school stands for and what it says it perpetuates as its values and what they believe is in the best interest of our children.
And just to be clear, the school in question is one of the top elite schools in Johannesburg, St. Stithians College in Randburg. Is pulling your child out of the school an option?
It's a very hard option. We've just made a significant investment in relocation to be on the school border. Like I say to the school, it takes 8 minutes for a child to go from a bedroom to a seat in the classroom. A relocation after just moving 4 months is destabilizing for the child. And moving the child out of the school means that we are still going to deal with this with another parent in the future. So that decision is nothing that we have made on yet. It is really subject to the outcomes of this particular meeting and the way forward with the school.
Thandi, how's your daughter now? How is she emotionally and physically? Is she back to being her bubbly self? How is she?
Well, we had to involve the cousins that are very close to her, spend lots of time with her, and really talk her through understanding that the reason why she's not at school is that mom and dad want to sort this out with the school so that she can be happy, she can be back to normality again. She's always been very appreciative and loving the school and really enjoying it. So this really has come as a surprise. But needless to say, we did get a letter from one of the parents in the class apologizing to us that she should have said something because her daughter did raise it at home that our daughter is being bullied in the classroom by boys. And she should have written to us or phoned us because she does know our daughter. So that kind of experience, which I forwarded to the school in writing that this is a letter from a class parent whose daughter says she did bear witness to our child being bullied. So she is coming together. I did express to the school that the aftermath of this is what we will have to deal with as parents.
You've received support from officials, at least in the Department of Education, around this?
We've received amazing support from all angles. We've received great support from the SAPS in appreciating that they want to get social workers involved, but they've explained that process involves the parents volunteering themselves for mediation. We've received great experience, support from the Department of Basic Education, and they've assured us that they are paying attention to the matter, and not only for the interests of this child, but the continued safety of our children.
So everyone but the school, hey?
Well, we'll see at 9 a.m. today at the meeting. It depends. So far, the school has just been sending letters that are very much legally charged. And we've been very clear that for us, we're not going to go and spend hard-earned money in hiring lawyers at this stage. We still want to deal with this as parents.
Thandi, appreciate your time to protect the identity of your family and your child. We're obviously using that pseudonym. And as I say, we did reach out to St. Stithians to offer them their opportunity, their right of reply. And they opted at this point not to come on the radio for an interview. They're saying there's an internal investigation and there is a meeting between the school and the parents, as Thandi has just told us at 9 o'clock this morning. And they're saying because that process is incomplete, they would rather deal with that. And they think it's premature to participate in media interviews. But we have seen, of course, these kinds of accusations about elite schools before, and it really is a worry.
EWN Business.
All right, let's catch up with business news now. Muteo, Pick and Pay, the turnaround plan is bearing fruit.
Yes, Bongani, slowly but surely, but Pick and Pay says it started to see the tide turn at the struggling retailer. For the 6 months to August 2025, the group slashed its headline loss by 45% to 439 million rand. Now, this was down from the loss of 803 million recorded in the past period. The number of shoppers that are visiting the stores are up 7%. Like-for-like sales in the company increasing by close to 5%, while its franchise supermarket saw 1.7% growth at the company. Pick and Pay says a segment profit margin recovered, contributing to the improvement in the trading profit.
We are picking and paying, essentially. Let's talk about international markets. Beijing versus Washington.
Yeah, that meeting set to happen this week. US President Donald Trump says that Washington and Beijing are poised to come away with a trade deal this week ahead of his expected meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Speaking aboard Air Force One en route to Japan from Malaysia, Trump added that he could sign a final deal on the TikTok as early as Thursday. That particular trade deal quite important for markets this week because, of course, China has been holding back those rare earths that the US needs to make chips, and that's the main bone of contention.
So might the US back down a little on TikTok?
I think they might. Or they'll find a very, very rich US buyer.
Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour at 17 Rand at 22 against the US dollar, exactly 20 Rand 7 cents against the euro, and at 22 Rand 99 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,978 an ounce, or platinum at $1,554. Brent crude at $64.65 a barrel. More business after 8.
Jeepers creepers, you think you've heard them all, Sfiso Zulu. Students are allegedly using bursary money to do what?
Well, Bongani, there's a gambling concern among students, and the Public Servants Association is now urging NSFAS to implement stricter financial controls to curb the growing rate of students who use their allowances to gamble. A recent Daily Maverick investigation revealed that students are among the growing online gambling population in the country, with many using their student allowances in efforts to make ends meet. The association spokesperson Claude Nyker says the practice could lead to a debt crisis among students.
The matter is exacerbated by the report by the SIU that over 2 billion in overpayments were made to higher education institutions and that approximately 40,000 students received incorrect payments between 2018 and 2021.
He adds that financial literacy is needed.
The PSA urges the Department of Higher Education and NSFAS to implement stricter financial controls to prevent irregular and excessive payments.
The fate of the state's case against Nigerian televangelist Timothy Omotosho now hangs in the balance after the Eastern Cape High Court reserved judgment. The NPA is asking the court to overturn Omotosho's acquittal, saying the trial judge made serious errors in law when he dismissed charges of rape and human trafficking against him earlier this year. Omotosho, who led the Jesus Dominion International Church in Gqeberha, was cleared in July after being on trial for 8 years. Mongezi Koko reports.
The court sat for much of the day yesterday hearing arguments from both sides, with prosecutors insisting that Section 319 of the Criminal Procedure Act allows them to appeal on questions of law. The NPA told the court that the trial judge misinterpreted evidence and misapplied legal principles, an error they believe resulted in Omotosho's acquittal. The defense, however, argued that the state is simply trying to relitigate a case that has already been decided, saying finality in criminal proceedings must be respected. Judgment has been reserved and is expected to be delivered in the coming weeks. Monkey Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
Protesting organizations in KwaZulu-Natal have vowed to ensure that justice is served for 2 children who plunged down a lift shaft in Durban. Last week, 7-year-old Aphelele Dlamini died while his twin sister Apile remains in a hospital after falling into a shaft at the building they lived in. Thousands of people yesterday took to the streets in Durban demanding justice for the children. March in March movement leader Jacinta Ngobese Zuma.
I think that's what everyone is worried about, that this is not the first time
an incident like this happened. In 2023, there was an incident of this nature and there were no answers given. And it's 2025 now, there's the same thing happening again. So it can't be.
And a man accused of killing former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is set to go on trial today, 3 years after the assassination of Japan's longest-serving leader stunned a nation where gun crime and political violence are rare. The trial opens the same day as the two of Abe's former allies, incumbent Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi and visiting U.S. President Donald Trump, hold a summit. Tetsuya Yamagami was arrested at the scene of the shooting in July 2022 after allegedly firing at Abe with a homemade gun while the former premier was giving a speech during an election campaign in the western Japanese city of Nara. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 12 and 18 degrees, peaking at highs between 26 and 28 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the R24 N12 east towards Edenville Road due to an accident. Delays coming out of the Glulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North. In fact, heavy traffic volumes this morning between the Geldenhuys interchange and Borafontein Road, and then also between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange.
The top story this hour, the Public Servants Association is urging NSFAS to implement strict financial controls to curb the growing rate of students who use their allowances to gamble.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
I did receive some of the messages on the WhatsApp. Some people who know these top cops telling me what they know about them. And I think what we can do maybe is just do background work behind the scenes. And the last time I interviewed Sej Kabonge, we got an anonymous call from someone who said, by the way, I always see Sej hanging out with Shadrach Sibiya at this and this and this hotel. And that's an information that was provided to us anonymously by a listener. And I did then immediately ask Sej about that. And that's when Sej Kabonge confirmed that he's actually close friends with Shadrach Sibiya. So I'm always so grateful when some of you who are close to these situations actually contact us to give us additional information, because it actually helps us in trying to get to the truth.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
The OUTsurance Business Insurance isn't just insurance. It's emergency help when you need it most. Switch today and enjoy services like Help at Out with 24/7 access to panic assistance, roadside assistance, and even office assistance. For catering companies, boutique hotels, guest houses, tour operators, and other industries, OUTsurance Business Insurance are trusted experts in insuring your business. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Lock into roaring rugby action this season with Hollywood Bets. Bet 50 Rand or more on any Vodacom United Rugby Championship fixture, and you could win a share of 300,000 Rand in cash, betting vouchers, or prizes. This includes Smeg bar fridges, macro vouchers, a Sharks captain run, or a player circle experience. Only the toughest team will prevail. Bet now and let the rugby rumble begin. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Something big is happening when the family group chat explodes, like the Chamberlain Big Summer Splash promotion, on from 23 October to 9 November. 10% off finest 1903 paint mixing. That's incredible! Amazing deals on outdoor, braai, pool and camping gear. Even the dogs joining in with our social media puppy paw pick competition for a chance to win 1,000 Rand. And what's that? You can meet Bucky's Boots live in store at Centurion. Come make a splash with the whole family. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil, a global moment of solidarity, equality, and sustainability with Africa at the center. So tune in this Friday between 6 and 9 a.m. for the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702. And it's brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20. The latest news, views, insights, and breakthroughs. The G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani. on 072
702 1702.
You see, Bongani, what really touched me in that interview is that the victim is at home while the perpetrator is at school enjoying classes and so on. This is how the system is protecting all those perpetrators, let's say criminals. That is terrible.
Hi, good morning, Bongs, and the listeners. Regarding the interview, it's appalling. It's appalling how these kids are doing this. Like, I don't know what I would do. I really don't know what I would do in this. Can we have like a prison for kids who do this just for like one day? Just show them that if they continue with this behavior, this is where it will end or where it will lead to. Because this criminality, man. How do you destroy someone's life like that? I'm sorry, guys, but no. Anonymous.
Anonymous, I don't know if that would necessarily help. Perhaps the one question that was missing in our interview, and we just didn't have time, was where was the teacher? Where were the teachers when something like, how do kids put pencil shavings in another child's ear and the teacher doesn't know? The mom noticed, hang on, my child is always playing the radio or the television or fiddling with the phone. It's always so loud. She'd call her child and the child wouldn't be able to hear her. And that's when they thought, hang on, something is wrong. Where was the teacher? How would you feel as a parent as the doctor is pulling out debris from your child's ear? And you are thinking, how on earth did that get in there? Where was the teacher? And what's the point? What's the point of an elite school if when kids are in classroom and harming each other, nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody hears?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. 1,000 Rand for the answer, then 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Blessing. Blessing in Montana. Blessing, please give us today's answer.
Today's answer is Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. That's a lovely answer. Blessing, Janet Jackson. Tell me, have you received a quote from Outsurance?
I'm a member of
You are a member. Look at you, Blessing. Well, how about a blessing of 1,000 Rand? All thanks to Outsurance in 702 coming your way.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic stuff. There you go. The answer is Janet Jackson. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, very good morning to you. Let's start with cricket action. The Proteas men's side have demonstrated they now not only can handle spin on the subcontinent in that series against Pakistan, they are now going to get ready to play T20.
Yeah, so Test cricket, T20 cricket, very, very different. We're looking at the two squads, and I mean, it is a completely different squad. So the Proteas have rested Markram Stubbs, Maharaj, a spinner. They've rested him. David Miller's injured. So I think it'll be very, very different to what we saw in the Test cricket. You've got Donovan Ferreira as captain. People are going, who? So I think it's because the T20 World Cup is coming up in February. This is why you'll also see Quinton de Kock coming out of retirement, and he's playing today as well.
Gosh, if you're the coach, you've got so many things to think about because, of course, yes, they've got to get through this T20 series, but they've got a tour of India coming up next. Yeah. But as you say, there's a World Cup also on the horizon. So there are all these balancing acts that have to be thought about.
Yeah, you got to manage everybody, right? So here's the captain, Donovan Ferreira, on the conditions.
I think it's important that we assess conditions tomorrow because sometimes you make an analysis and you've got a score in mind and it doesn't really work out that way. So when we rock up tomorrow, if one batter comes off or two batters come off, then that score gets scratched. So I don't think we want to predict anything. You know, like I say, we play in the present and we'll assess tomorrow and see after one or two balls have been bowled and then make a quick assessment to see what we're going to do.
Proteas women take on England in the Cricket World Cup semi-final tomorrow. England, who lost only one group game, are the favourites going in Proteas batting coach Bakia Abrahams believes South Africa has what it takes to go all the way.
You could just see as the tournament went on in a different mindset and the relaxed nature and how they go around their preparation that we have the tools and we have the ability to negate whatever England's going to put forward to us. Again, it's knockout cricket. It's just on the day whether you're capable of putting it together. And we've shown we are capable of doing that. So that's the exciting part.
Carling Knockout Cup action continues tonight. The Orlando Pirates hosting the defending champions Magesi FC. That's at 7. Despite a hectically physical battle in the Champions League on Sunday, Pirates go into the match with no injury concerns. In La Liga, Real Madrid captain Dani Carvajal is out for the rest of the year after knee surgery. Springboks battle Japan at Wembley on Saturday. Defence coach Jerry Flannery speaking to SuperSport, saying Japan is no walkover.
The Springboks have only played Japan 3 times, and 2015 was obviously a huge upset. And then when I look back to the 2019 World Cup, and Japan were phenomenal at that World Cup. So it's going to be really good prep for us. We have some players who need some game time, who haven't played any real rugby since the end of the Rugby Championship, for us to challenge ourselves with Japan and then as a lead-in then into the French test. It would be great.
Kickoff on Saturday evening is 6:10. The All Blacks are in Chicago to play Ireland. New Zealand, coming out of the Rugby Championship, have had much more game time than Ireland, who last played Portugal in July. All Blacks coach Scott Robertson.
I think it's just important we focus on ourselves, really. We know their strengths. We know they're a team that extremely organised and well structured and take you deep into the phase count. So we know that we expect that again. And we expect, like I said, the best of them. And we're well and truly into our test series, aren't we? 10 tests, but it still doesn't guarantee you anything. You still got to turn up on the day.
That game is 10 p.m. on Saturday night. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
What you're hearing isn't a traffic accident. It's not panic braking. It's our amazing car-stopping 40th birthday deals. For a limited time only, Auto & General is offering great savings with our 40th birthday Ruby deals. Celebrate with us by visiting autogen.co.za for great personal and business car insurance savings. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online. Offer available for a limited time only.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We're speaking to Kellanova's General Manager and Executive Director, Philip Neiman. On Wednesdays, we do this to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Turning 18 means we're used to taking on any challenge, like a boer soekevrou, and realizing that the only bakkies that matter played for the Springboks. We've been there, providing Mzansi with a bakkie that gives more performance and endurance. Celebrate 18 years of more with the P300 LS from only 5,999 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
When you've looked cancer in the eye, you see the world differently, don't you? This Wednesday on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman, we'll hear how breast cancer survivor and head of outreach at Holy Rosary School, Yvette Bibi, is turning her journey into purpose, helping to raise awareness about the importance of sight and access to reading glasses for those who need them the most. It's a powerful story shared in partnership with the Dis-Chem Foundation, because caring for the community starts with seeing its needs clearly. Remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem Better Rewards card supports this and other amazing initiatives across the country. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts on 702.
EWN Traffic.
Catch up with the roads now. This EWN Traffic brought to you by Citroen. Buy an Aircross from 279,000 Rand or a C3 from 262,000 Rand with a service plan and get a 4-month payment holiday. Visit citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply. There's a crash in Bramley, Amo.
That's correct, Bongani. It's right on Caller Drive and near Scott Street, is causing heavy traffic volumes within this area, Bramley, Waverley, as well as Melrose. So heading towards you will see those delays coming out of the Collett Drive exit. And if you're traveling on the M1 South, delays between the Baklu interchange and Collett Drive. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 North. This is just as you leave Soweto between the Diepkloof interchange and 14th Avenue. There's also queuing traffic reported on the R21 North. This is in the Tembisa area, and that's due to those roadworks that are taking place right near Olifantsfontein Road, causing those heavy traffic volumes. If you are heading towards the city of Tshwane, try to use the N1 North through Midrand instead. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Thinking about rolling in a new Citroen C3?
Did you just pause the ad?
Yep, like how we pause your installments. That's 4 months, no payments.
I got you. And the C3's got rear sensors, reverse camera, a warranty, and service plan.
Press pause on payments and play on life. Get the Citroen C3 from 264,500 and enjoy a 4-month payment holiday. Visit citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is Janet Jackson, let's go to Angel in Benoni. Angel, what's the question?
Good morning.
What's the question, Angel?
It's sorry, I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
What's the
Hello?
All right, let's try a different line. Not hearing Angel there. Debucho, you're in Alberton. What's the question?
Morning, Bongani. The question is, what is the name of the artist who had hits on the U.S. Billboard charts for 3 consecutive years from 1989 to 1991 with singles from her album Rhythm Nation 1814?
In fact, she had 7 singles reach the top 5 from that album. The first album in history to do so on the Billboard 200. And then, of course, 4 of those were number ones in 3 consecutive years from one album. The most top 10 singles from one album, alongside Michael Jackson's Thriller and Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. Isn't that absolutely amazing?
That's amazing. Amazing.
And it's even more amazing because, Debucho, all of that brings you 2,000 Rand in cash. All thanks to 702 and Outsurance.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Don't know if he's a Janet Jackson fan, hey? He'll take it however the Randellas come, hey?
Spend 10 minutes waiting for the microwave to beep.
Or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For his 2024 Suzuki Jimny, 55-year-old Stefan now pays only 611 Rand a month. And for her 2024 Kia Sonet, 31-year-old Palisa pays just 926 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Hey, sorry for the voice note, but listen, I was there. I saw the receipt. Like, literally. That thing was long. It was giving scroll vibes and everything. Tommy, with this new Discount Better Rewards card, you get 10% off instantly. But like instantly, on over 140 brands. So look, I don't want to be like dramatic or anything, but your Discount till slip never looked better. Okay, bye.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 Rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
At Auto & General, we understand your business is built on more than just vehicles. It's your stock, tools and equipment, and the premises where you work. Auto & General Business Insurance is designed for businesses like yours, protecting your assets against fire, theft, storms, and other unexpected events. To protect your livelihood, visit autogen.co.za and get an obligation-free business insurance quote. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela. Hello, Kabazela.
Good morning, Kabazela.
Ooh, your signal there a bit patchy. We're losing you. It's
Hello,
breaking up the line.
Earth to studio.
Oh, there we go.
Earth
there we
to
go.
studio.
There we go. Too sweaty?
Earth to the studio.
Must be your sweat getting in the way.
Yes, yeah, all over the technical equipment. Yeah, it's hard work being a viral content creator. Anyway, so this video that I saw online, this woman is doing mat Pilates. And she's in the studio, she's on a mat doing all these various poses and exercises and stretches. But she is sweating like she's run a marathon ×2. That's how much she's sweating. She's dripping there on her mat, right? And some people asked, is this normal? And I suppose, it depends on the physiology of, what's the word? Physiology of your body, right? Some people, yeah.
You're sweating just saying that word.
Some people will sweat more than others, and perhaps there's different activities that make you sweat more than others. Like for me personally, the only activity that really makes me sweat is if I play squash. So I can play soccer, I can go to the gym, I can go run a marathon, whatever it is. And I'll sweat a little bit, but I'm not going to sweat as much as I do when I'm playing squash. So it's quite weird that I don't know what the reason is. I mean, it's maybe a little bit warmer inside the squash court, and you quick and short little darts and runs. But that's for me in terms of how I sweat. So I wanted to find out from our 702 family if there is an activity that makes you sweat more than others, and perhaps maybe you're just a sweaty person. You just sweat a lot. I mean, sometimes you even shake somebody's hand.
Okay.
And
Kabazela, okay, we get it. We get it. There's nothing like shaking.
Am I making you sweat, Bongles?
There's nothing like shaking a sweaty hand. All right, we get the picture. Kabazela wants to know: do you sweat profusely, and are there activities that make you sweat more than others? And how do you deal with a partner, a significant other who sweats a lot? Let us know.
702.
702.
Feedback.
With Riah Phiyega.
Right, Riah? shaking a sweaty hand.
Yeah.
You just want to go.
Yeah. You don't know where the hands have been.
You know.
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable.
But it's a normal thing.
Yes, it is.
You know.
It is. Your sweat is your sweat, and it just remain as
stay
your
with you.
sweat.
Sharing is not caring in this instance.
No, not in that sense.
What other feedback do you have?
Well, Bongani, listeners are reacting to your big interview, saying this story is deeply heartbreaking and it's a wake-up call for parents, teachers, and school leaders everywhere. No child should ever feel fear of attending schools or any activities that they are a part of. Listeners are also urging parents, saying that we need to listen closely to our children, create an environment where they feel safe enough to speak up if something is wrong and not have to shame them for feeling the way that they are feeling, Bongani.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty is that when you take these schools charge top dollar, right? And when you take your child to one of these schools, you're at least hoping that, for the duration of their day at the school, they're under supervision. There's an eye on them at all times. And so the fact that something like this can even be alleged, right? Because what we're dealing with now is not whether or not it happened. From the school's perspective, they're trying to say it may not have been that kid. That's the best answer they're giving this family, that it wasn't that kid. And so we can't remove that kid.
Which is why then our teachers need to create a safe space, watchful classrooms where no act of harm or humiliation goes unnoticed. And we need to teach empathy and consideration as much as we teach academics.
Let's advise each other. If you're a parent, if your child has had bullying incidents, whether at an elite school or not, what do you do? Have you uncovered bullying by talking to your child? That maybe they hadn't volunteered before, information they hadn't told you before, and through just how do you get it out of them? And what do you do as a parent? I want your calls on that on 011 883 0702. Send us WhatsApp voice notes if you can, but I really want us to help each other as parents. Have you uncovered a bullying experience that your child has gone through, and how did you handle it? What do we do as parents, particularly if we feel that schools are failing us? Coming up, a chance for you to win up to 30,000 Rand. WhatsApp us, Absa Swiper Rewards, 067 384 0022 now. Do it to 067 384 0022 now, and we could call you back.
This is EWN.
Parliament's ad hoc committee into police corruption resumes today with the Deputy Police Minister, and the DA in Gauteng is left hanging on its ambitions to oust Panyaza. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Day 13 of Parliament's ad hoc committee hearings into police corruption continue today with Deputy Police Minister Kassel Matale on the hot seat. Matale, who is one of two deputies, was appointed in July last year at the same time as Minister Senzo Mchunu, who is on leave of absence over allegations of political interference. Mchunu has already appeared before the committee where his decision to disband the political killings task team through a policy directive came under scrutiny. Babalondense reports.
While Senzo Mchunu's deputy, Kassel Matale, hardly got a mention during the hearings, he will be grilled over 2 days by evidence leader Advocate Norman Arnser and members of the committee. Members are expected to question Matale about his knowledge of the directive to disband the political killings task team and his working relationship with Mchunu. Members will also try corroborate submissions already made by National Commissioner Fanima Semola and Mchunu. Former Minister Bheki Cele was the last witness to give evidence on Friday, where he responded frankly to MPs on why Mchunu's directive to disband the task team was incorrect. He said the committee led by ministers was the only structure able to disband the task team since it was established by it. Matale will also likely face questions around the task team and whether he knows any of the individuals implicated in police corruption. Acting Police Commissioner Firoz Kachalia is expected to take the stand, and Mchunu's second deputy, Polly Boshielo. Babalondense, Eyewitness News.
Parliament's Higher Education Committee chairperson Tebogo Letsie says while he does not condone students using their financial aid money to gamble, the inconsistent payment from NSFAS is backing the students into a corner. A recent Daily Maverick investigation revealed that students are among the growing online gambling population in South Africa, many using their student allowances in efforts to make ends meet. At a briefing in Parliament yesterday, Letsie said while he sympathized with the plight of many students, online gambling is not the answer. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
With tertiary institutions drawing the line on students with outstanding tuition who could face not being allowed to register for next year, Committee Chairperson Tebogo Letsie says NSFAS has to improve on their payment system. He says many students are forced to make alternative plans when their allowances don't get paid on time, often borrowing money and attempting to make more by gambling.
Many of these students, they not only take this allowance to take care of themselves. Some of them, or many of them, also support their families at home. And this is a reality.
Letsie says by not paying students on time, NSFAS is contributing to the online gambling problem.
It's the system that we have created that creates this problem for ourselves.
Letsie says while concerning, online gambling among students is not unique to South Africa, with recent studies in the United Kingdom also showing an increasing trend, often due to economic hardship. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The EFF in Gauteng has joined Action SA and the Umkhonto Wesizwe party, refusing to engage the DA over its motion of no confidence in Premier Panyaza Lesufi. The party recently announced intentions to remove Lesufi from his post following a damning report by the public protector against the provincial government. The report found the Gauteng crime prevention wardens were irregularly established with no legal mandate to do any police work. Tabiso Goba reports.
In its letter to the DA, the EFF says the Blue Party has consistently characterized them as public enemy number one. The Red Berets says the DA cannot have its bread buttered on both sides, disparaging the party in public while also seeking its support. On the other side of the aisle, the MK Party's caucus leader in the Gauteng legislature, Bongani, says the DA's motion is opportunistic and Premier Panyaza Lesufi cannot be punished for trying to bring the province's high crime rate down.
And maybe if you push to integrate Panyaza into a correct stage that they want as a law, as lawmakers, we must support that. We can't allow our people to be unemployed. We can't allow crime to go high.
Action SA has also told the DA the motion is doomed to fail without support from the MK and EFF caucuses. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
And Hurricane Melissa is set to land in Jamaica as a catastrophic Category 5 storm, which is the strongest to lash the island since record keeping began 174 years ago. Landslides, fallen trees and numerous power outages have been reported ahead of the storm, with officials in Jamaica cautioning that the cleanup and damage assessment will be very slow. The storm already has been blamed for 7 deaths in the Caribbean, including 3 in Jamaica, 3 in Haiti, and 1 in the Dominican Republic, where another person remains missing. Hours before the storm, the government said it had done all it can to prepare as it warns of catastrophic damage. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
There is no infrastructure in the region that can withstand a Category 5. There is going to be damage if there is a Category 5. A Category 5 hurricane will definitely damage roofs. It will definitely compromise infrastructure, even concrete infrastructure. It will scour roads. It will destroy agriculture and vegetation. No doubt it will impact our ports and our airports.
Gold is trading at $3,986.89 an ounce. The rand is at 17.22 to the dollar, 22.99 to the pound, 20.08 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $65.64 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident reported on the N12 East. It's right near the Reading interchange in Racina Park. It's causing delays coming out of Oak Avenue. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. If you are traveling on the N3 North, we still have got bumper-to-bumper delays between the Elands interchange and the Kiluli's turn off. Causing those delays is the accident that was reported on the R24 East towards Edenville Road.
And in your sport, the Proteas to experiment the T20 series with Pakistan starting this afternoon at 5 p.m. In Orlando tonight, Pirates are hosting defending champions Baghesi in the Carling Knockout Cup, and the Springboks side to face Japan will be announced later today.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Day 13 of Parliament's ad hoc committee hearings into police corruption continues today with Deputy Police Minister Kasil Matale on the hot seat.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Nine minutes after 8 o'clock, we're taking your calls on 011 8830 702. Keeping an eye, of course, on the various commissions and hearings and tribunals and processes trying to fix South African public life. But perhaps on a more personal note, let's talk about our big interview this morning. A desperate mom who says her child was bullied at an elite school. I really want us to help each other as a community, as 702 Landers. If you're a parent, particularly of younger kids, how do you unearth something like this? It took this mother going to the doctor because she realized her child wasn't hearing them. They would call this child and she wouldn't respond, or they'd find that the TV was too loud. So they took her to the doctor, who pulled out debris from the child's ear, only to find the child says a classmate had inserted pencil shavings into her ear. Now the child has throat and nose issues, all connected, of course, to the ear. And she didn't tell her mom because the other child had threatened her. The other child said, "Oh, you think the shavings are bad? I'll put the actual pencil in your ear. You dare." Where was the teacher? The teacher's not always there. So how do we as parents help our children to come out with it?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
We're taking your calls on 011 8830 702. Let's start with Jeff in Sandton. Jeff, good morning.
Morning, Bongani. How are you? I hope you're having a good morning.
I'm all right, thank you, Jeff. Go ahead.
I think the most important thing that this country needs right now is accountability across the board, whether it's government, whether it is our public officials, whether it is ourselves, our school teachers. If we don't hold each other, if we don't hold government accountable, and if we don't have a consequence and responsibility for that, nothing changes. Nothing will ever change if we consistently get away with the wrongs we all know are wrong. So whether it is your guest earlier who just simply refused to accept the facts, or whether it's the teacher that's absent in the school that refuses to comment, or whether it's our government officials that just consistently get away with, I don't want to say murder, but let's say murder.
Well, from what we're hearing, Jeff, maybe they do.
Well, that's the thing. But where is the accountability that those in power should hold against them? And where is the consequence for when this takes place? Because that just drives the same culture again and again and again, and it feeds down all the way to the bottom.
Yep.
And I know I'm not going to be held accountable for something, so I can get away with it and step up to the next round and the next round.
And time again, that's proven true, is it not? I mean, I referred Riah Phiyega to 4 court processes that found her wanting. 4 legal processes. I quoted from a Labour court judgment. I read from the judgment. And her answer was, it's not true. It's there in the judgment. Kyle, you're in Randburg. Child bullying, how do we deal with it?
Hi there, Bongani. Thank you for the amazing show. It's actually quite devastating to hear what these kids are going through. To be honest, I'm a dad. I've got a child, and she was also bullied from grade R, actually. Moved schools, addressed it with the school. The teacher, I think, wasn't equipped well enough to deal with the bullying. And they actually made my child a problem, if I may put it that way. I had to go see psychologists, behavioral therapists, all of those things, and it didn't help. And one of the things I started looking at is, how do I help my child? And one of the things that I came up with is sort of decoding your superpower. And really, it's a strengths-based program for kids, but I used it on my child. And it's to help discover their talent, their superpower, how they show up every day. And also it helps us to identify their feelings, their mental health, where they can share some of these sort of things against bullying. And it helps stand against bullying, build their confidence, and understand how other kids also show up in that environment. So it's really, for me, helping my child and helping children just develop their habits around mindset, movement, self-care, social skills, and giving parents and teachers sort of more awareness of how to deal with bullying. Because, school has these policies and programs. But one of the things I found is that they're not fully equipped to deal with how the kids show up, how the bullying happens, and how do other kids not replicate this behavior. So we're going around doing workshops in various schools for free, just to help parents understand, how do they decode their superpower in their kid and their parents. And we hope that can make a little bit of a difference, because it made a difference with my kid.
Kyle, how do we get this program? How to... Just say it again. Just give me the name again.
So it's called Decode Your Superpower.
How do we get Decode Your Superpower?
Funny enough, we started it about a few weeks ago. But they're welcome to get in contact with me.
Is there a website? Is there something
LinkedIn.
You can refer us to?
It's Decode Your Superpower. You can find us on Facebook, or they can just get in contact with me. I can give you my number if you want.
I think Facebook is fine. How to decode your superpower. You can find that on Facebook, and it might give you some tips on how to help your child unearth any bullying they might be experiencing.
It's actually quite sad that parents don't want to take accountability for their kids that behave in that manner. And I actually will blame the parents, because they are the ones that condone that type of behavior. And this is the future criminals. And it's actually so sad. It's really terrible to even think that parents don't want to take accountability and discipline their children. And let them see what the consequences are of doing what they do, because I can tell you, it's only going to get worse from here. I mean, as the kids progress into higher grades and things, they will just think that that's the way to behave, is to bully and to get your way. It's really very sad.
I'm going to assume that you mean you're blaming the parents of the bullies, right? Not the parents of the child who is bullied, that their kids do this at school. Elizabeth, you're in Ekurhuleni. Your child was also bullied?
Good morning.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Go ahead.
So my daughter was bullied. This child is or her grandparents and her parents are supposedly quite upstanding people in the community. But when I went and confronted the bully in her parents' home, and not as in I confronted as in shouted, I just wanted to know what happened. The bully started crying. And I was like, you crying because you want to get out of it? Her mom did nothing, and suddenly the tables were turned on us. When I approached the school actually said to us, the father's behavior, the dad of the bully, is like this. He comes to the school and throws his toys out the cot. If he feels he didn't bring his child for 10 days to school, it's quite okay, and the principal must just deal with it. Eventually, after all that, I had to pep talk my daughter and tell my daughter that it's not you, it's actually her. We went to psychologist. She was on Schedule 6 medication. Bongani, I was beside myself. I would cry, literally cry every day.
Sure, Elizabeth.
It was so bad. At one point, we didn't know what to do. I mean, we're not people that go and fight and do stuff, but it became so bad. It was affecting the other sibling to the point where the teacher started phoning and saying, you know what, the sibling is going through some other stuff because of the shit. It was so bad. After much pep talk and all of that, we just said, avoid her like the plague. She doesn't exist. If you see her, walk the other direction, turn the cheek. To the point where other girls started coming out and saying, no, she has been bullying them. She's you, and then she starts to break you down, and she just bullies you. So there are children that are were in her after curricular classes. These girls were saying we stopped being friends with her because we realized that she's just the bully. But nobody would take, or her parents would never take accountability because they just felt they're children. And I'm like, no, children play games outside. Children play. They don't bully each other. They don't do things like that. And when you see the parents, it was like nothing. Oh, life carries on, deal with it. And I'm like,
it sounds so stressful, Elizabeth. It really sounds so stressful. I have
flashbacks about the shit that was going on, and I think to myself, if ever I catch this child alone, I'd like to clap her 1 or 2 shots there, which is not in my nature to do that.
Look, Elizabeth, I hear you. I mean, obviously, we apologize for that language, but you can hear the frustration and the stress and the distress and the fact that, as she says, the school wasn't taking accountability. And I suppose that's the lesson, isn't it? Is that school protocols and codes of conduct are not enough to deal with this kind of thing. Daniel, we'll give you the last word on this. Daniel, you're in the Vaal. Your nephew was beaten up just last week, you say?
Yes, he got beaten up by 7 guys outside Kenilworth in the south. And I went to the school to talk to the principal. He was not even giving me any attention until I sent the Department of Education an email with each and everything. And I actually even went and investigated. I found that there's kids that are even selling drugs, cigarettes and everything in a school, and the principal is unaware of those kind of things. So, this thing of bullying is happening, and our Department of Education is lax, and the schools are not giving any programs to cancel all these kids that are going through. Even my nephew is scared to go to school because there's this boy who's connected to the guys outside the school whom they're actually threatening him.
Sure.
Because
How old is your nephew?
He's 15.
He's 15 years old and is now already too scared to go to school.
They something very big, they hit him, Bongani, because even now he still has the marks on his face, the blue eye, I think. So the school was. I wrote the report, a 7-page report that I sent to the school regarding my findings and what the issues and how we can help. I was even willing to go with the SGB to find the kids of the parents of the kids that is actually giving the problem, so that we can be able to go take them through the counseling and anything like that. The school was not there to assist. They just told me straight away that I need to go and open the case. After opening the case, they will expel the boy. Then that's as far as they can go, and the rest I need to handle them myself.
You know, the question it raises for me is when schools throw rules and process and systems and legalese, what would they do if it was their child? Who would they turn to? Who will they turn to when it's their child? Because they're parents too.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Bongani, we've got heavy delays on the N12. This is the N12 west towards towards the Reading interchange. An accident has been reported there, causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 north between the Airlines interchange and the Kiluli's turnoff. That's due to roadworks, as well as an earlier accident reported on the N12 east towards Edenville Road. Delays from the Kiluli's turnoff. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a businesswoman on the way to the airport after sleeping through her alarm. Bags in the back, boarding pass on the dashboard. She prays she'll make her flight.
Hope I make it.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's the potential closing of a big deal. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. Get ready to win up to 30,000 Rand cash plus a shot at a Jayco J5 Vortex with Swiper by Absa Rewards and 702.
Time to play the ABSA Swiper Vault on 702. As you saw yesterday, 30,000 Rand could be yours. You just simply WhatsApp us the hashtag ABSA Swiper Rewards to 067 384 0022. And if we call you back and the ABSA Swiper Vault opens, the cash will come rolling in. You've got to shout swiped before it closes. And whatever's been called out will be yours. ABSA Reward members stand to win an extra 5,000 Rand cash. And of course, we'll go into that draw for a brand new JQ J5 Vortex with 3 months premium car insurance from ABSA Insurance. Only on 702, your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. You can win big with ABSA. If you pay with your ABSA Visa card, you could earn your share of 120 million Rand in real cashback from ABSA Rewards this until the 15th of January. We've got Paul today ready to play with us. Sipho, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Sipho. So you know how it works with the ABSA Swiper Vault. When it opens, cash amounts will accumulate. Your goal is to shout swiped before it closes, and you will win the accumulated cash. However, if it closes, the ABSA Swiper Vault closes before you shout swiped, you will lose all your accumulated cash. Are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
KG, let's open the ABSA Swiper Vault.
Welcome to Swiper Vault with ABSA Rewards. The vault is now open. 10,000 Rand. 2,000 Rand. 3,000 Rand. 4,000 Rand. 6,000 Rand.
Swipe!
Oh, all right. As we tally that up, let's see, KG, how much more was left?
Thank you for swiping.
Oh.
Swiper Vault now closed.
You guys like to play it so. You like to play it so close. You like to play it so close. All right, here we go, Sipho. You've already got an accumulated 25,000 Rand. So I've got to ask you, are you an ABSA Rewards member?
Yes, I am.
That gives you another 2,500 Rand. And tell me, have you swiped your ABSA Visa card in the month of October? So from the 1st of October till today, have you swiped it at least once?
Yes, I have.
And that gives you another 2,500 Rand, making your grand total. You have just won 30,000 Rand. Thank you. Thanks to ABSA Swiper Vault.
Thank you so much.
Now, Sipho, do you have a valid driver's license?
Yes, I do.
Well, tell you what, we are going to enter you into the draw for a brand new JQ J5 Vortex. And if you are a winner, we'll give you 3 months premium car insurance from ABSA Insurance.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sipho. You are the lucky winner of 30,000 Rand in cash. You're in that draw to win that fantastic JQ J5 Vortex. Catch us again tomorrow for another chance to win.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Catch up with news from elsewhere in the world today. Adam, good morning to you. Let's start with Jamaica's huge hurricane problem.
Yeah, it's an enormous storm. I mean, the storm itself is bigger than Jamaica. It's just moving very slowly. So whilst the winds within it, of course, are whipping round of possibly up to 280 kph, which is mind-boggling, the storm itself is moving at more like 4 or 5 kph. So in other words, when it rains within the storm, it will be unbelievably wet. It will just stay raining. They're talking about potentially a meter or more, maybe, no, half a meter, I beg its pardon, half a meter of rain, which is still ridiculous. 4 meter plus storm surges. All this is just beginning to happen in Jamaica. It's sort of been lying off the coast, and because it's moving so slowly, it'll take quite a long time to hit all of Jamaica and then to move on, frankly, off to Cuba and the Bahamas. So at this stage, they're rating it a Category 5 hurricane, the most fierce hurricane you can get, and possibly Jamaica's worst ever in terms of the strength of the winds and the torrents of the rain since records began in the mid-19th century. So it's all very much bracing for impact, evacuating low-lying areas and battening down the hatches. And I suspect we might be revisiting this hurricane. It looks like it could be devastating.
I think 4 people already dead in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. I think the scary part, Adam, is, as you say, it's bigger than the country. So where do you go if you are in Jamaica? Let's stick to that part of that world. A U.S. warship arriving off Venezuela.
Yeah, officially for exercises. People send their Navy ships off for exercises. But the fact is the posturing of the Trump administration towards Nicolas Maduro. Donald Trump is not a fan of the Venezuelan president, and indeed has basically called him a drug gang leader, a leader of an organized crime gang. Nicolas Maduro has not been best pleased with that. Well, who would be with that description? But suddenly there is a missile destroyer only 11 kilometers from the coast of Venezuela. It's officially anchored in Trinidad at the moment. Venezuela's Attorney General, Tarek William Saab, puts it like this. He says the Trump administration is, he says, trying to overthrow the Maduro government, turn his country into a US colony, and exploit Venezuela for all its oil, coal, iron ore, bauxite, gold, and rare earth metals, in particular coltan, which is something you hear about. It's needed for making mobile phones. And America doesn't have any coltan of its own. So is that what this is about? Let's just take those chilling words of Donald Trump. As he put it, the sea is very well under control. We're looking at land now. Is that an invasion in the making?
And Adam, how far would you go to get rid of creepy crawlies?
Yes, I'm not sure I'd go this far. But cockroaches, I'm sure we've all tried to kill a cockroach, and they can be very pesky. A heel of a shoe doesn't always do it, not even multiple times. You sometimes need something heavier, and even then. So a woman in South Korea spotted a cockroach in her apartment and thought, I'll get rid of it with a flammable spray and a lighter. So some sort of hairspray and a cigarette lighter, put the two together and you got an instant flamethrower. So she attacked the cockroach with her instant makeshift flamethrower, which duly caught on fire, but so did her bed and a pile of rubbish. And ultimately, the flames shot through her entire apartment and then through the rest of the 5-story block of apartments in Osan in South Korea. Unfortunately, a neighbor managed to pass her baby out of her window to safety as the flames were spreading, but she herself fell from the window and died. We know that, therefore, this woman who attacked the cockroach in the first place is now being charged with manslaughter and possibly worse than that. So tragedy from stupidity right there. Isn't that the human condition sometimes?
Indeed. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
First Rand expanding to Dubai, Muteo.
Yeah, banking group First Rand says it will purchase a 20% stake in Dubai-based fintech firm Aptasia. The firm uses modern technology like AI to verify and provide customers with microloans. The bank says it believes the investment offers an exciting opportunity for the local lender. Tech Central reporting that the value of that investment is at around 4.7 billion rand. Last week, Aptasia also announced its intentions to also list on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. The company operates in 38 countries across Africa, the Middle East, and Asia.
We're picking and paying.
Yeah, Pick n Pay says it started to see the tide turn at the struggling retailer. For the 6 months to August, the group slashed its headline loss by 45% to 439 million rand. Last year, of course, reporting that major loss of 803 million. The number of shoppers that visited the stores up 7% now, with Boxer also pulling up Pick n Pay during this tough time.
I wonder what makes people decide which retailer is their favorite, particularly when it comes to things like groceries. That'll be an interesting survey. Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour, 17 Rand 22, and some weakness this morning against all major currencies. 17 Rand 22 against the US dollar, 20 rand 7 cents against the euro, and at 23 rand 1 cent against the British pound. Price of gold tanking below that $4,000 mark, and that really hurt the JSE yesterday, now at $3,957 an ounce. Platinum also down in the red at $1,565. Brent crude now at $64.70 for those petrol and diesel prices. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Good morning again, Sfisa Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Parliament's Correctional Services Portfolio Committee says it will increase the pressure on the department to stop cell phones and other contraband from being smuggled into prisons. Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee says officials collaborating with prisoners must be criminally charged, while inmates must face additional charges. Testifying before Parliament's ad hoc committee into police corruption last week, former Minister Bheki said that the committee had to investigate prisons where much of the country's violent crimes are being planned. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
At a briefing in Parliament yesterday, Correctional Services Chairperson Anthea Ramolabeng says while on recent oversight visits to prisons in the Eastern Cape and Western Cape, officials claimed body scanners and other security measures don't always work properly. Ramolabeng says the department must make its security systems foolproof.
Those who are found with contrabands in correctional facilities, whether officials smuggling, assisting in smuggling, or inmates that are found, they must be criminally charged.
The committee has also requested the department to explore ways of blocking cell phone signal in prisons.
But whilst you don't also affect residentials that are around, equally affect the running of the facility.
Ramolabeng says the committee is also advocating for more unannounced raids in prisons. Between April and September this year, 786 cell phones were discovered in St Albans Prison in Gqeberha. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Cape Town police have confirmed that no criminal case has been opened against a mother who was spotted forcing her toddler to drink alcohol on CCTV. The video captured on a neighborhood watch system shows the woman sitting along the road in Woodstock offering the child a sip from a bottle. Woodstock Ward Councillor Yusuf Mohammed praised the city's neighborhood safety officers for tracking the woman down.
If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out for help. The city's social development team offers confidential support before tragedy strikes. Let's keep working together to protect our children and strengthen our community.
The toddler is now in the care of the Social Development Department, which is tasked with investigating. Department spokesperson Monique Motlock Malchas.
Generally, when a child is removed, this is confirmed by the Children's Court, and a social worker conducts a child protection investigation, presents findings to the court, who then decides on the further placement of the child.
And the National Consumer Commission has made yet another recall of faulty vehicles. This time, the NCC has issued a notice for more than 1,600 Nissan Qashqai SUVs to be returned to the dealerships across the country. The recalled vehicles were made available nationwide from 4th of May in 2021 to the 17th of October 2024. Nolkhayam Dambo has the details.
Car maker Nissan has told the National Consumer Commission that during engine operation, there's a potential for movement of the fuel pipe within its retaining clip. This movement could lead to wear on the fuel pipe. The company says it's also possible for the wear to generate a perforation condition on the fuel pipe, resulting in a potential fuel leak. The NCC says the success of the recall depends on immediate response by car owners who've been called to return the affected model for inspection and repair at no extra cost. This is the third recall this month and affecting other car makers. A total of 19 recall notices have been issued since June. Nogukhanya Mtambo, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 28 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 West. This is just as you approach Xavier Street off-ramp. This is due to an accident seen here. Please be on the lookout. On the same route, we've got another accident this side on this time on the N12 East before the Reading interchange, and it's also causing delays coming out of Komaro Street. So please be on the lookout if you're traveling on the N12 between the Reading interchange and Klipspruit Valley Road. That's in the south of Joburg this morning. And if you're traveling on the N3 North, we've got delays between the Elands turn off and the Glulies interchange due to roadworks as well as an earlier accident.
The top story, Parliament's Correctional Services Portfolio Committee says it'll increase the pressure on the department to stop cell phones and other contraband from being smuggled into prisons.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
Morgan Maumela's 52 million rand hypercar. Can you imagine spending 52 million rand on a car? And that actually happened after Babita Deokaran was killed. So can you imagine the psychology of somebody who sees Babita Deokaran being killed and then thinks, I'm going to take all of the money, allegedly, that was looted and spend it on a 52 million rand hypercar. It's just wild.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
Imagine if you could save time, you save money. A second here, a minute there. Type a little faster, walk a little faster. Or you could stop scrolling on the internet. Just think of all the hours you'll save. Now what if you could take all that time and invest it? Watch it grow. Until eventually, one day, you'd have so much time that you wouldn't know what to do with it all. But unfortunately, time doesn't work like that. It can't be stored or banked. And unlike money, you can't make it back. That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do whatever you want to do, even if it is scrolling on the internet. Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani Bingwa from the Eastern Cape. Just imagine you are deployed to the SAPS. You are a presenter and suddenly you have to run the affairs of the SAPS, South Africa Police Service, with no experience, no background. You were never trained, and suddenly you have to take the top job to be the commissioner of police. And people around you have to advise you. You have to make crucial decisions, and yet you don't have a clue what is going on in this institution. And that was what Riah Phiyega, she was giving this job by the politicians.
Good morning, Bongani. Honestly speaking, you were not fair with Riah Phiyega, because the first lady that you spoke to, you given her a chance to speak, but with Riah Phiyega, you were not fair at all, Bongani. You were not fair. The truth has to be told. Thanks.
Bongani, I'm actually at a loss for words. Riah Phiyega, I don't know how to even quantify her. I think it was good for her to come on the radio to do a right of reply, but when she basically questions, what made me laugh was the fact that she questioned a court order. She says that the court order is lying, and she never actually challenged it or took it up for review. So I don't know what is wrong with this lady. So there's something seriously wrong with her. And I want to quote Bheki Cele and say that a situation which was sitting at a 4 ended up being a 40, and all she did was just add a 0 to it. She basically fumbled this interview to the core. I don't know. Sivuile and Douglasdale.
I mean, I'm looking at what the judgment that we were debating about. This is, of course, from the Labour Court of South Africa, and it looks at the issue of why there was a termination. And one of the things, and I'm reading from the judgment now, it says that the National Commissioner even avoided using the word termination or in any direct way stating that the applicant, who was the interview we spoke to yesterday, was going to be dismissed by SAPS. And then the judgment says, in this roundabout and somewhat misleading manner, the termination of the applicant's services at the end of this month were heralded. This is, of course, in reference to what was happening in 2014-2013. And I don't know if fairness means we must, in pursuing that, allow people to come on the radio and give us misleading information. Because where I think we lost things is she said the judgment didn't say so. I said, yes, it did, and I quoted from it. And having heard a direct quote from it, she says, that's not true. Huh? What's fair then? What's fair? Help me.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, what are the Proteas playing today?
Pakistan.
That's not true. What would you say?
I'd say, okay, well, I'm just going to carry on reading
my
sport, and this is going to be an awkward 3 minutes of you staring at me.
Imagine if I sit there and I say, no, that's not true.
I'll say, okay, I'm just going to say what I have in front of me.
No, that's not true. No, okay. It's there. Okay, but I do believe you. The Proteas are playing Pakistan today.
In our first T20, the side will be captained by Donovan Ferreira, who's played in only 9 T20 internationals. Ferreira says the series ahead will be valuable preparation for the World Cup in February.
Yeah, I think it's obviously very important. There isn't much cricket. The World Cup's just around the corner. So I think starting in this series now, it's really important for us to start nailing our skills and carry on building on all the work that's been done throughout the year. So I think this is a big starting stepping stone for us towards the World Cup.
This afternoon's match starts at 5 p.m. Big game for the Proteas women. Tomorrow they face England in the World Cup semi-final. At Orlando Stadium tonight, Pirates are hosting the defending champions Magesi in a Carling Knockout Cup match. Pirates go into the match with no injury concerns despite a hectically physical battle in the Champions League on Sunday. Kickoff is 7 p.m. Springbok side to play Japan at Wembley on Saturday will be announced this afternoon. Kwagga Smith speaking to SuperSport on what he expects from Japan.
I've been in Japan for 7 seasons now, and there's a few guys that's also been playing there for quite a while. So we know the players quite well and have a few friends on the Japanese side obviously also. We saw last weekend what they did against Australia. They're definitely a quality team, and obviously they're also building for the World Cup. I think Eddie is also doing well with the Japanese team. We know he's done it in the past. Definitely they're players we need to look out for, and we need to make sure we're well prepared for the game.
Kickoff on Saturday evening is 6:10. The All Blacks are in Chicago to play Ireland. Coach Scott Robertson on what they've been working on.
A lot of stuff around individually and collectively as a group, how we can get better in second halves, but we're not far away. Might seem like it with the results, but we're really confident when we get our attack right and defensively we're physical and highly disciplined. We'll match anyone, and that's the exciting part, just doing it consistently.
And at the Paris Masters Tennis, the big seeds into today. Some selected matchups: Alcaraz against Norrie, Fritz faces Vukic, and Shelton against Kaboli. And then a fascinating Twitter poll that's currently on the go, where Cindy Paluta has tweeted, and over 100 people have voted as to whether or not it is normal for Bongani Bingwa to be ironing his dishcloths as discussed in 6:30. The poll is open for the next until 6:30 tomorrow morning, for about the next 24 hours.
So how many people?
Far, 115 people have voted in this very important poll of whether or not you should iron your dishcloths, which Bongani Bingwa says you should be ironing your dishcloths.
I'm part of the 10% that says yes.
Amo and Cindy say that you should not be ironing your dishcloths. And so 90% of the people of the Twitterverse, because apparently Twitter depends on which politician you're speaking to, is not the real reflection of the population. 90% say you should not, but you've still got 22 hours and 6 minutes left to vote on that poll. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sports.
Tip your way to glory in the Hollywood Bets Punters Challenge, the free-to-play horse racing game with daily cash giveaways and massive jackpot prizes. Pick all the winners on the race card and you could win 100,000 Rand. Bet 50 Rand or more on your selections using the Bet Slip feature, and you could walk away with 1 million Rand. Visit punterschallenge.hollywoodbets.net today and tip your way to the top. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for optometrists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Here's Chrissy.
Business Outsurance is the best insurer for my business. They have great premiums, wonderful service. I know without a doubt that Outsurance has my back, and you always get something out with Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
EWN Traffic.
Amo, let's wrap up the morning's traffic. How are roads looking now?
Between the N12 is a no-go area, Bongani. This is between the Reading Interchange and Klipspruit Valley Road, Klip Rivier Drive rather. This is due to that major accident reported near Klip Rivier Drive, delays coming out of Komaro and then heading towards the Reading Interchange. Another accident near the turn-off causing delays from Komaro Street as well. And then on the N3, we've got those roadworks taking place between the Airlines Interchange and Modderfontein Road. There's also queuing traffic on the NR24 West approaching Edenville Road, and that's due to an accident there, so please be on the lookout. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Naked people never skip leg day. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin, they've got more time for lunges and Romanian deadlifts. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start working out, like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
It's time to hit the streets and show what you're made of. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavored by Nando's, is on Saturday, the 8th of November at 5 p.m. And this one's pure city magic, reimagined, revitalized through Josie My Josie. 5K is for fun, 10K for bragging rights. If you sprinted for a taxi, dodged potholes, climbed stairs when the power is out, well, you are fully trained. So it's easy. Via Gautrain to Park Station, a free Prasa train to Ellis Park. Lace up, show up, and enter now at racepass.com.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Clement Manyatela is on your radio between 9 and 12.
Good morning. Can I challenge you to something?
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah.
This Nando's thing.
The
Let's
chicken
do
run.
10 kilometers.
It's a Vitality Chicken Run.
Yeah. Can we do 10 kilometers?
I've already got commitments.
Sure.
That day.
I'm sure we can move it around.
That
Oh, yeah?
What's on the show
So can
this
we
morning?
do 10K the next day on Sunday?
What's on the show
Is the
today?
commitment the whole of November?
I've got back issues. I'm going to a
Of course.
chiropractor today. I am. Do you want pictures?
Yes,
Okay,
actually.
I will.
I would. I'll go touch your back there just to see.
What's on the show today?
Coming up on the show, we'll speak about this
Tswara,
Cameroonian. Tswara, tswara. I want to see if it's Mtoti there. We're going to speak about this Cameroonian president who
me on my
is
studio.
92 years old.
Don't touch me on my
I
studio.
would. Paul Biya is 92 years old. He's just won his 8th term. He's going to be president until 100. And you know where he spends most of his time? In Switzerland.
Overseas, yeah.
And overseas. So he's running Cameroon remotely. So we'll
Is
talk
he running
about
Cameroon?
that. Is he?
Or is Cameroon
running him? Yeah. And then we'll also talk about, there's a question I want to ask this morning, Bongani, about the role of banks, the role of estate agents and lawyers. Because we often hear about people like Hangwani Maume, like Ket Matala, and all the luxurious things they purchase. But where are the banks? Where's the FIC? Because at the State Capture Commission, if you remember, I think Standard Bank actually testified at the State Capture Commission, because the question has always been there. It's almost like the banks look the other side until there's like this big hoo-ah and then there are media reports. But they have a responsibility to flag suspicious transaction. So where have they been?
Bona, even the the car dealerships. What was that car worth? 52 million.
52 million rand.
A car.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd buy a house worth 52 million.
Well,
car.
the difference is you working for your money.
No, but what kind of house would be worth 52 million?
If you haven't worked for the money,
a car.
You could live in a spaceship. So we'll chat about that on the open line. At 10 o'clock, we're going to have a conversation about the role of traditional leaders in our society with the COCTA Minister Velenkosini Hlabisa. What role do you see traditional leaders playing in today's society? 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. Today, we're talking about ways you can cope with career setbacks and how you can maintain motivation. And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 with our health and wellness feature. Today, we're discussing the new HIV injection to be made available in South Africa.
Children Manyatela between 9 and 12.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
48-year-old Felicity spotted an OUTsurance deal that was too good to drive past. She now pays only 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. A 52-year-old Janine was all smiles when OUTsurance gave her a premium of just 561 Rand a month for her Kia Picanto. Get ready to get more out of your car insurance. SMS out to 45142 today. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Hey, Laura.
The unmistakable voice of jazz and soul returns to South Africa, Gregory Porter. Join the two-time Grammy Award winner for 3 intimate performances now at Teatro Monte Casino on the 20th, 21st and 22nd of November. Don't miss one of the greatest voices of our time, Gregory Porter, live. Book now at showtime.co.za.
This week, 702 is in conversation with Auto and General. It's an insurance event for event managers, organizers, exhibitors, protecting them if something goes wrong. So whether you're organizing a once-off celebration or a series of events, it's a conversation you don't want to miss. 702 in conversation with Auto and General on 702 Drive with John Perlman.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So this November, a story that is going to tell how South Africa came alive. It's going to be on the big screen. Sigalela, the Enoch Sontonga story, tells the life of the man who wrote Nkosi Sikelel' Africa, the song that became not only our national anthem, but the national anthem of a number of southern African countries. Sontonga, of course, died young in 1905 at just 32 and has left this legacy that was for a period of time largely unrecognized. So there's a new film out, written and directed by Lungile Themba, the CEO of Nali Themba Productions, which premieres on the 2nd of November at Stir Kinekor Theatre at the Sandton City Mall. But it's not just a film, but it features, of course, a musical live performance with Lungile Themba and the internationally acclaimed opera singer Anne Masina. And I'm pleased to tell you that Lungile joins us here in studio to tell us more about this film. A very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani. Finally.
Sontonga is one of these large figures in terms of the South African cultural and even historical landscape. But for a long time, his work wasn't attributed. He wasn't credited.
Sure. Absolutely. And I think so. He died in complete obscurity from a tummy condition because of the unsanitary water conditions, prevalent to native communities in South Africa. And many of his work, many of his poetry as well, because he was also a poet, was actually lost. So there's so much that could have been, but is not, because his life was quite short. And also, there's no documentation about his life and who he actually was as a person. So as a writer, it really has been difficult to try and piece the puzzles together because he hasn't been well documented like a lot of other composers.
Why this story and why on film now?
I'll tell you something that maybe is a bit airy-fairy. I am a bit of an airy-fairy person anyway. So I believe that the story chose me because this journey actually goes back at least about 12 years ago, when I just had this innate desire to write my own musical. So I started writing a musical, and then the name Sondonga popped up in 2020, and that's when I was able to piece the puzzles together, because the music I was writing, without knowing, correlated to Nkosi Sikelel' Africa. And the character I was writing about correlated to a gentleman called Enoch Sondonga.
So what does this film hope to tell South Africans that they may not know about this part of our history?
I think first and foremost, it's very important for any human being to know where they come from, to know their history, because then you stand in that. So it's important for people to know who they are and where they come from. So if you're singing your national anthem, you need to know where it comes from. So a lot of people do not know who wrote the national anthem. In fact, they don't know that Enoch Sondonga is actually buried in Johannesburg at Braamfontein Cemetery. There's a lot of people that don't know that.
Hence the naming of that road as you go.
And Sondonga Loft, etc., etc. So and then I think I just have a feeling, or not even a feeling, it really is a fact, that we are, as creatives and as artists, we are losing that South African flavor in music. So your Brenda Fassie's, your Sipho Hot Sticks, Mabuze, etc. That type of music, we're losing it. And this production actually has a lot of South African flair in it, music-wise.
What were the circumstances of how he wrote the song, Nkosi Sikelel' Africa?
So he actually originally wrote the song for a school choir competition. And the song was, we all know how the song makes us feel. So it was then, he was then commissioned to perform the song with his choir at the first ordination of the first Tsonga Methodist priest, Reverend Mboweni, who I believe is related to Dito Mboweni. So it's quite a big history. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And then from there, and then there's Mr. John Langeli Shetube, who then heard the song and then, I'm getting chills thinking about it, who then commissioned his choir to sing the song around South Africa. And then the ANC then came into place, where then it became their anthem of defiance, and then it just moved to other places and countries in Africa.
You don't want to miss it. The premiere of Sikelel', the Enoch Sondonga story, is happening on the 2nd of November. It's going to be at 3 p.m. Special screening at the Sandton City Mall, Stir Kinnico. You can get your tickets on web tickets. But they're going to be highlights. It's not just the film screening. They're going to be live performances. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. This band is going to be led by Tsepo Muhlala. You're also going to be performing.
I'll be performing.
And Masina will be performing. It's a once-off event, 2nd November, 3 p.m. at the Sandton City Mall, Stir Kinnico. Get your tickets from web tickets.
And the tickets are only 150. How generous is that?
Don't miss out.
Let's go.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast. The Clement Manyathela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Day 13 of Parliament's ad hoc committee hearings into police corruption continue today, with Deputy Police Minister Kasel Matale on the hot seat. Matale, who is one of two deputies, was appointed in July last year at the same time as Minister Matale, who is one of two deputies, was appointed in July last year at the same time as Minister Sinzo Mchunu, who is on leave of absence over allegations of political interference. Mchunu has already appeared before the committee, where his decision to disband the Political Killings Task Team through a policy directive came under scrutiny. Babalondenza reports.
While Senzo Mchunu's deputy, Kasel Matale, hardly got a mention during the hearings, he will be grilled over 2 days by evidence leader Advocate Norman Arnser and members of the committee. Members are expected to question Matale about his knowledge of the directive to disband the Political Killings Task Team and his working relationship with Mchunu. Members will also try corroborate submissions already made by National Commissioner Fanima Semola and Mchunu. Former Minister Bheki Cele was the last witness to give evidence on Friday, where he responded frankly to MPs on why Mchunu's directive to disband the task team was incorrect. He said the committee led by ministers was the only structure able to disband the task team since it was established by it. Matale will also likely face questions around the task team and whether he knows any of the individuals implicated in police corruption. Acting Police Commissioner Firoz Kachalia is expected to take the stand, and Mchunu's second deputy, Poli Boshielo. Babalondense, Eyewitness News.
The EFF in Gauteng has joined Action SA and the MK party refusing to engage the DA over its motion of no confidence in Premier Panyaza Lesufi. The party recently announced intentions to remove Lesufi from his post following a damning report by the public protector against the provincial government. The report found that the Gauteng crime prevention wardens were irregularly established with no legal mandate to do any police work. Tabiso Goba reports.
In its letter to the DA, the EFF says the Blue Party has consistently characterized them as public enemy number one. The Red Berets says the DA cannot have its bread buttered on both sides, disparaging the party in public while also seeking its support. On the other side of the aisle, the MK party's caucus leader in the Gauteng legislature, Thabang Nkani, says the DA's motion is opportunistic and Premier Panyaza Lesufi cannot be punished for trying to bring the province's high crime rate down.
And maybe if you push to integrate Amapanyaza into a correct stage that they want as a law. As lawmakers, we must support that. We can't allow our people to be unemployed. We can't allow crime to go high.
Action SA has also told the DA the motion is doomed to fail without support from the MK and EFF caucuses. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
The Public Servants Association is urging ANSFAS to implement stricter financial controls to curb the growing rate of students who use their allowances to gamble. A recent Daily Maverick investigation revealed that students are among the growing online gambling population in the country, with many using their student allowances in efforts to make ends meet. The association spokesperson Claude Nika says the practice could lead to debt crisis among students.
The matter is exacerbated by the report by the SIU that over 2 billion in overpayments were made to higher education institutions and that approximately 40,000 students received incorrect payments between 2018 and 2021.
And a man accused of killing former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is set to go on trial today, 3 years after the assassination of Japan's longest-serving leader stunned a nation where gun crime and political violence are rare. The trial opens the same day as two of Abe's former allies, incumbent Prime Minister Sanae Taikachi and visiting US President Donald Trump, hold a summit. Tetsuya Yamagami was arrested at the scene of the shooting in July 2020.